So track completely dry now, in case any of the other classes are wondering. There we are back on the live stream, so welcome back. Apologies for that. We have a power cut at the circuit and everything had to be rebooted. We're running on the Mondello Park generator now, powering the whole circuit. Lucky we are to have it. And it just took a small while to get the live stream rebooted. There we are. So Files led early on. Now we're back on stream, and Leo Richardson took the lead back. They were side by side almost for an entire lap, both of them, but Richardson now easing away, and he's done fastest lap last time round. He's leading by 0.8 of a second. Jack Files in second place. Holly Dunyan going nicely in third place in the Energia car. In fact, has she been displaced? I think she may have. Let's have a look as they're heading down towards 7A and B. Apologies for that. I think Holly Dunyan back a place there, possibly just out of our view. It's still Richardson, it's Files, and it is Henry up to third place now as they come up towards the final corner, the leaders. Apologies there, just the technical team are working hard behind the scenes. We've just got a camera down, so they're just trying to get coverage from another area there. Apologies for that one. As we said, we did have a power outage at the circuit, and everything is being rebooted here on the back foot. We are down one camera, but we are broadcasting, and we can see these young drivers on track at Mondello Park. Castrol Corner, the newly renamed Turn 1 at Mondello Park. And Leo Richardson getting away. Joshua Henry, though, with fastest lap in third place now, the young Donegal driver. Just ahead of this group. He's got by Holly Dunyan. Holly Dunyan back to fourth place. Fastest lap is to Joshua Henry in third. So he's the guy that had the shunt, a big shunt to stop the session in qualifying this morning. So great to see him and the car back out there. But he's closing down. Here come the leaders now. This is Richardson in the orange car. Leo Richardson from Jack Files. But closing them both down now is young Joshua Henry, the Donegal driver. Catching the two Dublin drivers right out to the outside. Although Jack Files could probably be County Meath, would he? Beat Borders. He's one of these quick Dunchocolate area kids, although Clonee would have been Jonathan's hometown. So, of course, we spoke about the Files earlier. Jack Files named after his grandfather, who was a very quick racing driver and worked for Booth Pool here in Dublin. And then his grandfather, Ken Files, needs no introduction at Mondello Park, won in pretty much everything that he raced. Very, very quick driver, went all the way to Formula 2. Jonathan Files, Jack's father, who raced here yesterday and won in his father's Royal RT4. A very emotional moment for many people. And Jack Files stuck it on pole position. So good weekend for the Files family at Mondello Park. And Jack looks like he's closing. He doesn't look like he's closing down. He is closing down Leo Richardson. I don't know if he's noticed Joshua Henry motoring up to both of them, but Jack Files looks like the man on the move here. That gap was at over a second. It's not anymore. First three, in fact, now making a break. Holly Dunyan under a bit of pressure from Jaden McBrearty for fourth place, but there's the two leaders. It's definitely not over yet with 4.5 minutes to run. There's McBrearty down the inside of Holly Dunyan and gets the job done at Nordic Spirit Corner, but goes very wide. Holly tries to come back up the outside, doesn't get it done. Is she going to give it a lunge down the inside? She is. Holly Dunyan fires it down the inside and takes the place back. They're side by side in the background now. And in fact, that's Irvine getting by Taff right behind them as well. The metallic blue car just making up a space on the black Mondello Park car. Down towards turn one, Richardson, Files, two very different lines coming in there. Look at Henry just backing it in, as they say in motorbike terms. Back of the car floating on him there. He's late in the brakes and a touch of opposite lock as he got to the turn-in point. So really trying hard. Fastest lap still stands to Henry. They're all gone a little bit slower that time round, and he's half a second quicker than the leader, but only a tenth quicker than Files. So they're both closing down the leader with 3 minutes to run. So Richardson, Files, Henry, McBrearty, Dunyan, Kyle Irvine, TJ Taff, Luca Mullins, Dahi Kennedy, Logan Hoy, Liam McManus, Harry Dowling, Martin Finnegan, Ailish Sexton and Dean Deasy is the order. There's Henry now with a run down the outside of Richardson. Files back in front. So it's Files, Richardson. Henry now trying to have a go. Cars beautifully turned out. They nearly all are on the grid. They look fantastic. This class heavily supported by Brian Matthews of Patch Tire Equipment and Mondello Park. Invest heavily too. They've bought a car. These guys get they get free registration. They get all their decals covered, the trophies, the support on race day, and plenty more cheaper entry fees as well, subsidised by Mondello Park. Here they come down into 7A and through 7B. And it really is great to see such talent on the grid. This is the future of circuit motor racing in Ireland. We didn't have a Ginetta Juniors was brilliant, but it had kind of faded away, and the decision was made to bring in these 1.6 Mini Coopers, and it's been a huge success. The cars look fantastic down there. It's so well turned out. The drivers have come on in leaps and bounds, and I do think, I said it this morning in briefing, I do think these drivers would be capable of winning any of the senior classes they got into now. The talent is very, very strong in this class right the way through it. Here they come. First three definitely have made a break. Only 2 minutes 20 to go now. Two Nordic Spirit corner. They ball hop over the curbs, touring car style. Files is very confident, leaves the door wide open, and Richardson just slices down the inside. Thank you very much. Files tries to have a go back at him, gets the switch back and gets a little bit up on the inside. Now let's see what happens in a straight line. We saw Files just driving by, and he does it again. Just up alongside and drives by Richardson in a straight line. So down to the first corner. Richardson late on the brakes again into Castro, tries to sit around the outside. Henry will surely look up the inside. That's exactly what he does in the stables car. Richardson slams the door shut, but Henry was already in there. That may have just knocked his tracking out. The car looked like it bounced around just a little bit. Well, let's have a look. They go through Campion corner now together. Not sure Richardson knew he was there. He's probably trying to get a switch back on Files, but Henry had stuck the nose down there. Very opportunistic. Jaden McBrearty is closing them down as well. In fact, he did a personal best last time around. It was quicker than all three. So coming up out of turn three now, it's Files, it's Richardson, and it's Henry, and any one of those three could take the win here. McBrearty on his way back up to them as well. There we are, another Donegal man, the fourth car. Behind him is Holly Dunyan, then it's Kyle Irvine next up. Great view of them here as they go through Bridgestone corner out to the outside and up the hill. It's Holly Dunyan in the silver car. Taff has got back ahead of Irvine. That's a great scrap. Look at that, both of them using all the track. And then it's Luca Mullins. Luca Mullins going nicely in that green coloured car on the way up the hill there. Son of Sylvie Mullins, known very well to us from hill climbing and Boss Ireland here at Mondello Park. Somebody off in the background. Holly Dunyan, I suspect. Almost sure it's Holly Dunyan there. Somebody went off bouncing on the way out of Lola corner. There's Taff and Irvine now. 37 seconds to go. We should probably get another lap. Let's see how long it takes them to get there. That was Holly Dunyan. First three now have definitely made a break. It files a little bit wide through the first bit of Bahrain's Bends. That'll cost you through the second bit. Richardson Motors up behind them. Again, a little bit. I wonder where his front's gone off a little bit. It looked like Files didn't get right into the apex there, but they're all struggling a little bit with understeer. That happens with these cars towards the end of the race. Can be quite hard on their front tires, but Files still driving beautifully. All three very quick over the curb and using the exit curb, the background. And look at Jaden McBrearty flying in fourth place and trying so hard to get up to them. We've got, no, the clock is at 0. It's checkered flag time, and it's going to be a drag race to the line. It looks like it's going to be Files. It is going to be Files. Jack Files takes the win. Fantastic stuff. What a race from Leo Richardson, Joshua Henry, and a great drive by Jaden McBrearty to come right up to them in third place. Then it's TJ Taff, Kyle Irvine, Holly Dunyan, Luca Mullins, and Dahi Kennedy's going to be next up. There's Logan Hoy, the Dundalk driver, right at the front of the championship, but not going as well as he normally would there. Logan Hoy in 10th place. There's Leah McManus, the local girl, always improving. She's mad keen to get a top 10 here. That's 11th for her. Then it's going to be, who's next up? Martin Finnegan, I think it is next up. Harry Dowling just went through. There's Martin Finnegan. Car changer, he borrowed a car after he get a little off this morning. Then it's going to be a drag race to the line between Ailey Sexton in the Midlands 103 car and Dean Deasy on the outside, and Ailey Sexton just about takes that one, and that's all of them home and hose. Great stuff from the Patch Tire Equipment Junior Mini Championship. Wonderful drivers and great racing up front, and I've got to say, certainly in terms of Files and Richardson in that battle early on, they gave each other racing room. I love to see it. It's a lot of times you see saloon cars digging into quarter panels and half spinning each other. There was none of that. Jack Files and Leo Richardson should be applauded for that drive between the two of them. And Joshua Henry, great recovery drive to get up to them. And I think if we had one more lap, young McBrearty might have been in the mix there as well. So great stuff. And that's just their first race of the day. The Patch Tire Equipment Junior Mini Champ. There's Jonathan Files running up there. He'd be delighted with that. As many times we've seen the Files name on the podium. Now, Jonathan won yesterday and Jack won today. So that's great stuff for that family. But they certainly had to work for it. Young Richardson right on the ball there too. And we will see more of that in race 2. Mark my words. No time to rest. It's time to go racing again. Say it Supercups for their first race. Factory built, left-hand drive touring cars, 340 horsepower, paddle shift, really quick cars, plenty of drivers out in them. And they always give us good entertainment. And just thrown into the mix, the Irish touring cars are out as well. Now it was wet in qualifying this morning, so I'm sure the grids will be a little bit different to the actual pace they have in dry conditions, but let's see. Max Turley on pole position. Great qualifying lap for him. Eddie Peterson alongside him. Eddie Peterson is, we used to say he was massively experienced at auto testing. He's massively experienced at circuit racing, but he's a 5-time Houston Auto Test champion as well in a previous life. Then the rallyist, Stephen Wright on the second row of the grid. He's very quick in these cars. The rain would have suited him this morning. Dave Maguire, ultra experienced, 3-time Fiesta ST champion outside of row 2. Brian Berry, again, very experienced, came up through all the way from 1400cc Puntos through Dunlop supercars and much more. Disappeared for a while, came back. Right on the pace. Barry English, Hardy racer, former oval racer. He's on row 3. Paul Parr, another former hot rod man. Paul O'Brien, known to us from touring cars before. Drove a lovely Sirocco here many years ago. So 27 is Paul O'Brien. Gary Corcoran from Formula Shane and supercars. Wicklow body repairman Rod McGovern. Surprised to see Rod so far back. Rod has won in everything that he's raced in. Mark Turley. Mark, a great name, plenty of history in Mondello. We haven't seen Mark in a while. Good to have him back here. You might see him progress forward. 777 Adrian McNally. He's a rally man who has made great progress. Maybe the rain didn't suit him this morning, but he's been up in the top 4 or 5 a couple of times this year. He's been going really well. Watch out for him. And then Smasher Stephen Maher, another ex-Irish touring car man, and he's next up. In the ITCC, it's Cian Walsh on pole position in the Black Civic. He's done most of the winning this year. It's an incredibly quick car, probably quicker than most of the Zetecs if he gets a cut at them. I'm not sure what the gap is between them at the start, but it's a well self-prepared car. It's absolutely beautiful. It's very, very quick. Alongside him is Owen Drought, who's in the battle for the championship with Cian Walsh, but Owen Drought's had terrible trouble with that car this year. It's very quick in a straight line, the Owen Drought car sales Golf, but it's got a slight braking issue, and it's also it tends to do its tyres in quite early, so it's a bit like the Titanic. It understeers quite a lot. And then 77 Stuart Curran, another good racer. Stephen Traub hasn't been here in a while. He's on row 2. There's a man that probably has the pace to have a go at Cian Walsh at dry conditions. Then it's Ian Stryker and Ryan Stryker. Stryker row 3. Then David McMinn and Stephen Martin on the next row. Michael Clune in the little CRX, and Aaron Ennis, then Robert Dardy, Oisin Clune, Colin Morris and David Flynn. That's the Precision Tint and Graphics Irish Touring Cars. Well done to them. They've got their numbers way up. They were wavering for a while, looking very strong today. They put a lot of effort into that. Excuse me, as to say it, Supercups blast their way out of the pit lane for their first race at the Infinite Energy ICCR weekend here at Mondello Park. So that's the Ann Stevens Trophy that'll go to Young Files as well. Great stuff from him. There's the championship positions. Eddie Peterson is leading the championship at the moment on 136 points. Not by much. 1 point back is Max Turley, and he's up all, but they share the front row. Dave Maguire in 3rd place. Stephen Wright, the rally man, in 4th place. Paul Parr is next up, then Paul O'Brien, Barry English, Adrian McNally, David Maguire Jr., who had a win in these. That's David Maguire Jr., who races Fiesta Zetecs and was leading the Fiesta Zetecs Championship earlier this morning. He's had a win in this class and a one-off appearance. Well, 2 races at Kyrgyzstan, and Brian Berry in 10th place. So the championship very much up for grabs, and the 2 championship contenders share the front row. Rod McGovern, Shane Murphy, Gary Corcoran and Stephen Maher have also scored points in this championship to say it's Supercup Ireland Championship 2024. So Saya Cooper's, the warm-up lap for these Sayats is very important because they don't have much lock and it's very hard to generate heat in the rear tyres. So most of the front-wheel drive cars, you get flick them sideways, stand on the power, but these cars will go around pretty quickly, but you do need to get heat into, not the fronts, the back tyres, because they're set up loose at the back. It's the only way to get them to go quick, especially in Mondello Park. A lot of slow corners, a lot of hairpins. You need the back moving around, but you also need heat in those rear tyres. That's crucial. So that's the main reason most of them are moving around. What they'll be doing is flicking the car and lifting the throttle, flicking the car, lifting the throttle, trying to unsettle the back and somehow get some heat into those rear tyres. So there you are. The Pannonia car starts on pole position. That's Max Turley, and the Petersons.ie, Petersons Cars Like New, that's their logo, starts alongside him, and they are the championship contenders. Watch out for Wright on row 2. He's been very racy all year. He will stick a nose in if there's a gap at all. Dave Maguire, massively experienced and no shortage of racecraft. He's just, you can just see his headlight there on row 2. Then Berry and English, Paul Power, Paul O'Brien and all the rest coming down towards us. You can see the touring cars at the top of the screen. The sinister black car is Cian Walsh. Drives that car superbly, makes an incredible sound. You'll see it shortly. I expect him to probably sprint away from the touring cars. I know certainly the Golf of Owen Drought, I don't think we'll be able to stay with him. Now Traub is very much, he's very quick, and he's been here before, had a big shunt here a couple of years back. We haven't seen him since, and he should have plenty of pace. That's wet weather qualifying, has him on row 2. That's the car on the left at the bottom of your screen there, highly modified Honda Integra. Alongside him will be Stuart Curran, another really quick Integra, the white car with the black front wings. Then the 2 Striker brothers on row 3 and all the rest. Watch out for David McMinn in the little red Saya to beat it. It's a diesel, I jest you not. What's he doing? He's moving around there. That car is incredibly quick. It's got oceans of torque. It's a dark side developments car from the UK, very well known championship winning car in the UK. It looks like something your granny would drive to the shops. It won't look like that in a minute when the lights go out. It's very, very potent little car. You can't quite see it on your screen, but you see it as they get away. It's a small Sayat, dwarfed by all the Hondas around it. There it is there. You can just see the tailgate right at the bottom of your screen. Thank you very much. And away we go. Oh, Dave Maguire gets a great start. Eddie Peterson gets swamped as they head down towards Castrol Corner. And Maguire's got alongside Turley, but when he gets into the back of Turley there, a little bit of a territorial dispute. That's what I said about cold rear tyres. Turley's off on the outside. He held it beautifully, but the damage is done. Peterson goes around with cold rear tyres as well. I've jinxed them all. The commentator's curse. Owen Drought gets swamped on the grid by all the Japs. The German car heading towards the back of the grid. Terrible start for him. Normally that car rockets off the grid. Today not so much. It's Walsh and Traub now leading that. And possibly Steve Martin it is there, trying to ride around the outside of everybody else. Where's the Golf? It's way, way back. It won't help Owen Drought's title aspirations. He's either leading it or second. But certainly the danger man out front is Cian Walsh. And look at the pace. I did say watch out. Another Say It with cold rear tyres goes around at the S's. Gary Corcoran, the Wicklow panel beater, and somebody else powered as well. Well, I've jinxed them all, I think. It's really, really sideways Sayetville all the way around the first lap. There's Dave Maguire. There's Wright, that is, and that's Barry English in the blue and white car right with them. Then Berry next up as they head down towards 7A and B. English looking for a sniff down the inside. But it is Dave Maguire leading this one. Stephen Wright and Barry English up there in third place. Barry English, another hard racer. Watch out for him. And it's Berry. Then it's a big gap back to what looks like Turley, I think. As they come back towards us, we'll name check them when they go through. And then it's Paul O'Brien, distinctive enough ex-Sam Mansfield car he's driving. In fact, there's a different brake horsepower, aren't there? So Max Turley's only got 310 because he qualified on pole. Peterson 320, Wright 330, and everybody else has 340. So qualifying on pole is not as pleasurable an experience as it is in most of the other classes. But all these cars up front have the full power. They revised them again after this race for race 2. Berry looking pretty quick. Is he catching them? I think he is, you know. So it's Maguire, Wright, English, Berry, Turley, Paul O'Brien, Rod McGovern, Mark Turley up to 8th place, then Stephen Marr, Eddie Peterson, Gary Corcoran, Adrian McNally and Paul Marr. Cian Walsh goes through and he is being tracked down by Stephen Traub, but that's the first time this season we've seen anybody getting near him in terms of pace. So that's good stuff. We'll be keeping an eye on that one. Stuart Curran next up, Ian Stryker, David Flynn, and Owen Drought has blasted by 1, 2, 3 cars that were ahead of him in the Golf, but he's still got a few cars between himself and Cian Walsh. As I say, it's come down into the long left-hander. Right out onto the exit curb. Back tyres should all be up to temperature now, so the cars should be able to lean on the cars a little bit more into the slower stuff. Corcoran and Peterson there welded together on the way up Kennedy's Rise, heading for this corner. Lola, the long right-hander out onto the back straight. There's Brian Berry. Who has fastest lap? It's Maguire actually has fastest lap at the moment. That was a standing start, so that's not going to be relevant. We'll wait till they get their first flying lap. In over that curb goes Dave Maguire. He's beginning to get away, isn't he, from Wright, English, and Berry has caught them. Then it's Max Turley. Paul O'Brien looks good. Is that Mark Turley coming up there? True, it is, I think. That's Rod McGovern. It's Rod McGovern on a charge. Rod should be capable of winning these, say, at Supercup races. He's won the championship before. So, remember wet qualifying. Wave yellows in the background there. Not sure what's happening, but I see them. They're up at out at Parabolica or Lola, depending on what's your persuasion. Turley, Rod McGovern, Paul O'Brien and Mark Turley is the order going through there. Rod McGovern up another place ahead of Paul O'Brien now. Mark Turley stays in 8th place. Fastest lap is to Dave Maguire, 151.576, and he's brought that gap out to 1.4 seconds now. So that's Turley, O'Brien and McGovern heading down the back straight. And Paul O'Brien's got up the inside to put himself up a place there. Big lockup. He's not going to get that stopped, is he? He doesn't get it stopped. Right out onto the exit curb. Oh, he'd be doing well to hold on to that place, and he does hold on to it. There's a little bit of understanding, I think, there. And here comes this Rod McGovern up the inside into Bahrain's Benz. Big lock up there as well. They're all having a go, aren't they? It is. So that's Turley back a couple of places there. Paul O'Brien ahead of both of them, and Rod McGovern up one place as well. So Paul O'Brien, the man on a move here in the DOB Sports Cars Run machine. Here we are. This is it. It's definitely closed up. This has got to be fastest lap, surely, for Stephen Wright. He's all over the back of Dave Maguire now. It is fastest lap for Stephen Wright, 150.913. And Maguire, for the first time, has to go defensive down into turn 1 now in the Jerry Maguire and Sons car. But Stephen Wright has only joined this championship relatively recently. As we said, an ex-rally man, but really quick straight away. And loves driving them. Dave Maguire now's got a little bit of a gap coming out of Castle Corner and through Campion, but Wright tries to close it down. At the first apex of turn 3, they momentarily go out of our view. Closing up again as they go through Bridgestone Corner and up the hill. Wright looks like he's close enough to have a stab here. Maguire doesn't think so. He's not agreeing. He leaves the door wide open. You've got to if you want a good run through there. Maguire goes in hard. Wright looks a little bit quicker as they come through the corner, but not much difference on the exit. Certainly Maguire goes to the right straight away to cover that one. That's also the straight line, the little kink before 7A. Fastest lap to Stephen Wright still. It's Paul O'Brien we're looking at there, and Berry in 3rd place. That gap ebbing and flowing just a little bit at different parts of the track. Certainly Maguire very quick out of the international loop. Up to Bahrain's bends now. Tidy line from both of the red cars. If you go wide through the first bit of Bahrain's bends, it can hurt you through the second bit. Again, he turns in early there to defend, and that might make him slow on the way out. Stephen Wright will know that, and he'll be loving it, but there's not much in it as they exit that corner and head towards Nordic Spirit now. Up over that inside curb. Wright's got a bit of a run here as they head up towards Southside Motor Factory's corner. Maguire can hear me. I think he goes to the inside, defends right to the outside. Will he look for a switch back here? Thinks about it, but Dave Maguire watching the mirror more than he's watching the road. He knows exactly where to put that car, Dave Maguire, when he has to. And he crosses the line again. A former karting champion, raced Fiat Unos for many years, won the Fiesta ST Championship 3 years in a row with Murray Motorsport, and now leading the Seat Supercups. But Stephen Wright having a real go at him. 7 minutes still to run in this one as they go through Campion corner now, named after John Campion, and down towards turn 3, the double apex right-hander. So a little bit stalemate up front. Wright can hang on there, but Dave Maguire looking very comfortable. Certainly not over defending at all, but Berry not managing to catch it. Berry was quicker than anybody in the early laps here, but certainly they're easing away from him now. Fastest lap still to Stephen Wright. They were a little bit slower last time around, but nobody has bested that one. A 50.913 fastest lap of the race. Down through 7A and B, and again Maguire slowing them down just a little bit as they go through there, not allowing any gap down the inside, and certainly not allowing Wright to get a run on the way out. Still, despite that, he gets a little bit of one, and again, oh, Dave Maguire goes defensive, locks the wheel, goes in a little bit too quick into Bahrain's bends, and look at this, it's going to be a switcheroo, surely. No, Dave gets the door shut a little bit late. It gets to the inside, it gets to the apex. Now he can take a deep breath and put the power back on whenever he wants, but he was in trouble there for a minute. He was on the ropes. He's back in front and no problem now, but certainly Stephen Wright will have seen blood there, and again Maguire goes very defensive on the run up to the final corner. Maguire on the inside. Wright tries to get the switch back this time to get the nose down the inside. I think he might have done it. He's on the inside. Maguire giving him racing room, just the width of a say it, no more, but there's nothing in it in a straight line. But Wright can be late on the brakes surely here. Dave gives him just enough room down the inside. Wright takes the lead. Maguire back to second place, and Brian Berry should surely, after those two corners, get a little bit closer to them. They're out in the 52s that time. Paul O'Brien is the man on the move. 52-2 for the leader, 51 dead for Paul O'Brien now, and he's up to fourth place, head of Rod McGovern and easing away, and he's starting to catch Brian Berry. Could get himself a podium here with 5 minutes to go. Here comes Stephen Wright. No mistakes for him. Maguire now dropping back just a little bit from him. That was just constant pressure, and then jumping when he had to. Look at the fourth place car though. He's absolutely flying. Paul O'Brien, the DOB Sports Cars machine, up to fourth place and definitely closing them all down now. He's quicker than all three cars ahead on the last lap. That's the car there just coming out of Lola corner now. The ex-Sam Mansfield car run by Dave O'Brien, Porsche specialist in Ballymount. And he's late on the brakes. Oh, will he get it turned in? He does get it turned in. He's definitely going to catch Berry. There's 4.5 minutes in this. Oh, he's drifting the car and it's handling nicely. Back of that car floating around. We're well into the race, and no understeer has come into that car just yet. It certainly looked really good between 7A and B there as he got the back end floating. So Brian Berry will be watching the mirrors because he's visibly closing him down now. I wonder, will this be fastest lap for O'Brien, or maybe they're past their best at this stage. Certainly nobody's come near that one. The stationary yellow below me, I'm not sure why. I am. There's one of the Hondas down in the barrier at turn 1 as Michael Clune goes through one of the ITCC cars. Leaders coming towards us now. That's Stephen Trobe that we spoke about earlier in the Integra. There's that car, the Tire Brigade machine. Red flags are out because of that. It's the car in the gravel, and it looks like it's contacted the tyres fairly heavily. That's unusual. That gravel top usually pretty good at Michael Chester will have got a good photo of that one anyway. It's right under his nose down at turn 1. So red flags are out. The race has been stopped. We've done 75% of the race. I think it needs, does it need to be 80%? Result decided, I've heard in my ear, so that didn't take long. They're definitely going to say that, aren't they? So let's see what the result will be. It will be Stephen Wright from Dave McGuire and Brian Berry, I think. And Irish Touring Cars will be Traub from Cian Walsh and David Flynn. David Flynn taking touring, of course, your current takes third in Super Touring in that one. So next up in a few minutes' time will be, let's have a look at my timetable. Legends will be back out for their second race today. There's the official result on countback. Dave McGuire is going to get it. Hard luck for Stephen Wright, but that's how it works. So it goes back a lap with a red flag. Dave McGuire takes the win. Stephen Wright in second and Brian Berry in third place.
GSE. Wow. Wow. Der Opel Astra Electric.
Welcome to Mondello Park, more than just a racetrack.
We have conferencing facilities for up to 200 people.
We can provide a wide range of fresh, locally produced food, from soup and sandwiches all the way up to a full 5-course meal.
Test your team to work together in a series of racing challenges against the clock in our state-of-the-art driving simulators.
Or if you want to try the real thing, jump behind the wheel of one of our many supercars.
Test your team with our wide variety of non-driving team building challenges. Or beat the clock in our exhilarating auto test challenge. Mondello Park, so much more than just a racetrack. So Irish legends heading out for their second race of the day. You can just see Neil Murphy's Siltec safety car, Fiesta van there at the bottom of the screen, parked proudly on the pit lane. Legends back out again. Great race earlier on. Don't expect it to be any less exciting this time around. Scott Jackson will start on pole with Lee Malone alongside. We do have with championship positions we showed you earlier. They've been updated after race 1 already, and we do have them on screen, so well done to everybody involved there. Lee Malone leading the championship now with 2,695 points. You heard me right, 2,695 points, 100 points ahead of Evan Curran, with Scott Jackson in third place on 2,505, Willie Lawrence on 2,275, Sylvie Bartlett on 2,150, Michael Barrable 2,110, Richard Spence 1,755, Derek Hogan 1,635, Anthony Malone 910 points, Kevin O'Donoghue 870 points. Then Owen Lawler with 765, Seamus Ryan on 570, Declan Burke on 460, Gordon Brown on 370, Jonathan Files on 310, and Jamie Moylan on 200 points. Jonathan Files is out in this one. Jamie Moylan, the one to watch if it's a form earlier on, is anything to go by, but Jonathan Files should give us a little bit of entertainment as well. He charged up there before the red flags came out. So we'll be getting going shortly. They're just being led around by the BMW Ireland M2 competition safety car. As soon as he gets to the end of the international loop, he will drop the hammer and pull into the pit lane, and then they'll form in grid formation and come down to the grid and maintain the same speed until the lights change, and away they go for a rolling start. So here they come in grid formation. Up to Southside Motor Factory's corner. Scott Jackson on pole position, distinctive colour scheme, almost as distinctive as Derek Hogan in the Pink Panther on the second row of the grid. Lee Malone on the outside of the front row, Richard Spence behind him. Then it's Gordon Brown, Jamie Moylan, Michael Barrable, Willie Lawrence, Anthony Malone, Evan Curran, and danger, Jonathan Files, 104 at the back, the white car. Dennis Lambert alongside him. Getting ready to go. Everybody in formation. 16 trying to get a run on the inside. That's Gordon Brown. Jonathan Files having a look down the centre there, but didn't make up any places just yet. Poleman leads. In fact, they're pretty much in grid formation, aren't they, as they go round turn 1. Oh, 1, 2, 3 cars off on the outside. That's Files up for 3 places. 1 or 2 of them recovered pretty quickly. Derek Hogan must have got a shove to send him sideways there. He dropped way back from his second row starting position. So a little bit of work for him to do as they stream down towards turn 3 and briefly out of our sight before they come back towards the main arena. Here they come. Scott Jackson leading Lee Malone. Barrable in 3rd place. And it's Gordon Brown, I think. And Willie Lawrence. There's Hogan on one side. Evan Curran having a go there too, and off goes Michael Barrable on the outside. Whatever happened there, didn't get it turned in at all. But dry conditions now, so that's very unusual. And it's not often Barrable makes mistakes either, but just straight out onto the gravel. Didn't make an effort really, it looked like, to turn in at all as Jonathan Files sticks it down the inside of Derek Hogan. So Files ahead of 6 cars, 7 now. He's probably ahead of Barrable, he is. So Files has passed 7 cars inside this first 2/3 of a lap. 2 leaders are well clear though. Hanging out the tail is 99 Scott Jackson. Then Lee Malone. 77 Willie Lawrence dancing over the curbs as Evan Curran tries to stick it down the inside of Gordon Brown and gets it done. And that allows Files closer to them both. The white car started right at the back, and oh, Files so committed. He gets such a run through there. He just drives by Gordon Brown on the way up to the braking point for Southside Motor Factory's corner. So 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and Files up to 5th place now by the end of the lap. From 12th on the grid. Oh, he slowed himself down a little bit though. He's just taking a little bit too much curve. That's where he came to grief before. He went out there and the car just swapped ends and went straight into the barrier. Big damage when he hit the pit wall on the inside. Oh, Files slinging the car around again on the brakes down into turn 1, dancing around under him, exact same as he was doing yesterday in his father's, his late father Ken's Ralt RT4. He managed to take a very exciting win here yesterday in Boss Ireland Race 2. He was first across the line, beat some of the far more modern F3 cars. And having a go now just for a little bit of fun in a legend today. So Scott Jackson, Lee Malone, the order in this one. And Willie Lawrence. And Evan Curran all the way from the back. Jonathan Files. Somebody else coming up behind him. It's possibly Jamie Moylan. Let's see, somebody closing Files down. It's not Gordon Brown. Michael Barrable coming back into it there, looking to make a few moves. That's where he went off last time round. He's Jamie Moylan, I think, behind Files now. Files beginning to drop back. He's not making the inroads we would have expected there on the back of Evan Curran. And that is Jamie Moylan. Closes down Files on the brakes through to 7A and 7B. Place swap there in the background. Files hanging the tail out, but Moylan's gone by, so it's coming down now to complete another lap. It's going to be Jackson, Lee Malone, Willie Lawrence and Evan Curran absolutely together as they cross the line. And Moylan now ahead of Jonathan Files, and Moylan with fastest lap, 57.7, 4/10 faster than the race leader, and he's closing down Evan Curran now, almost up with him. That's the orange car on the left of your screen. Jonathan Files beginning to drop back after that incredible charge on lap 1. Just 3.5 minutes to run on this one. Anthony Malone already in the pit lane here, out of shot. Heading back into the paddock actually. Great shot there from the top of the tower. All these cars coming sideways down into that long left-hand corner. Bridgestone normally on the national track, of course, that's the start of the S's as Moylan goes grass cutting on the outside there on the way up Kennedy's Rise towards Lola corner. The long right-hander out onto that long back straight. Derek Hogan still holding off a couple of attackers. I think that's Richard Spence and Michael Barrable perhaps behind him. That's Evan Curran in the middle of that one. It's Lawrence Curran and Moylan, which would be for third place. Oh, they're all having to go on the brakes. Curran closes down Moylan even later again down the outside, but nowhere to go. When he gets there, he slows suddenly though, and Files comes up to him. Is there a problem for Jamie Moylan? There is. Hasn't come into view, neither has Files. We missed that. Something happened in the background there down at 7A or 7B. Can we get that? Okay, well, there's a red flag, so yeah, just out of our shot. So that's Moylan and Files come together on the loop. Moylan and Files come together on the loop there. Already the rescue crews are there and the marshals are down there. But yeah, it looked like Moylan slowed suddenly and Files was on a charge coming through that corner just midway through 7A and B. And they've tangled a little bit in the exit and they've thrown the red flag, so the cars will come around to the finish line. Really tough day on the officials today. Everything that can go wrong has gone wrong. We've had that many, the red flags are nearly worn out. The safety car will have massive mileage on it, need new tyres by the end of the day here at Mondello Park. It's a tough day for everyone involved, but it's got to be said, the rescue crew and the marshals, as ever, exemplary work from them. Really, you'd be very proud of them on a day like today. They're getting everything sorted. So legends lined up on the grid, but they just had 2 minutes to run on that one anyway, I think, so that would probably be a result. So they're out of the car. Jonathan Files trying to upright his own car. Only Jonathan Files. He's absolutely fine. That's Chris Nugent down there with him. So both of the drivers are out of the car. And wow, you can see what happened there. They just Moylan's car slowed and Files had nowhere to go. They obviously both went to the right hand side. That's all Jonathan Files is left with is the steering wheel. He throws that down onto the grass, but they're fairly robust, these cars. The bodywork will show signs of damage because it's fiberglass, but everything else will be fine. Jonathan Files, no doubt, would say he's made of sterner stuff than that, so he's absolutely fine. We can see him on screen out of the car, but the car will need a little bit of TLC, no better man, before the next time we see it on track. So that's cost us a couple of legends. Not sure if we'll get a restart or not. We wait and see what comes up on screen. We'll either get a result or a new grid, and then next up after that will be Formula V. Not just a normal Formula V race, it's the Formula V race for the Leinster Trophy, which is, as we said before, the most famous trophy in Irish motor racing. It was first run by Faye Taylor in 1934, and Jack Toohey won it in 35 and 36, and the Jack Toohey trophy is here beside me, and the winner of the third legend race will get that trophy. So some incredibly famous names when we look down through it. J.D. Titterington, Mike Hawthorne, and then as we come a little bit close, John Watson won it in 1966, according to this list. Brian Nelson, Watson again, Patsy McGarity, Eddie Jordan, Trevor Templeton, Ray Mallock. 1982, Ayrton De Silva, later to be called Ayrton Senna, of course. Gugelmin, Bertrand Fabi, Henrik Larsson, JJ Lado, Mika Hakkinen, Vincenzo Sospiri. Then some local drivers when Formula Opel came in: David Wright, Vivian Daly, Jason Watt, Derek Keneally, Marcelo Bertustuzzi, Eric van der Linde, Thomas Schechter. Then Formula Ireland, Paul Dagg, John O'Hara, who's here in the paddock today, Robbie Coleman, Emmett Queenan, Neville Smith, Peter Dempsey, Rob Barrable, Gary Newsom. The V's had to go at it a few occasions as well. They're back there now. So the first time I think V's had it was 2009. Gary Newsom won it. Then Dan Polly won it in 2010. Ray Moore, Kevin Shane in Formula Shanes, Barry Rabbit in Formula Shanes, then Stephen Daly in Formula Ford 1600 twice in 14 and 15, I think. Hywell Lloyd in the Formula 3 car, Keane Carey similar. Then Daly, Barry Rabbit came back and won it in the Formula Renault in 2019. Paul O'Connell in Boss Ireland, Sylvie Mullins, Boss Ireland, Keane Carey. 2023 was Lee Newsom, is the current holder of the trophy. So let's see who gets to hold that trophy aloft on the Mondello Park podium today. incredible that the some club racers, very talented, but some club racers get a chance to race for a trophy that Ayrton Senna once held up over his head at this circuit back in the day. So really is a beautiful bit of history, and it looks absolutely fantastic. So in the event of a stoppage just like this, the guys in the Leinster Motor Club have given me loads of information, which is absolutely fantastic. The Anne Stevens Trophy, that's the one that's just been won by Jack Files. The board of Leinster Motor Club decided in the last few years to add a trophy that could be used for a junior car racing perpetual award, as we had not had one for the last few years to represent at our annual race meeting. The board felt this trophy should be named after somebody who had been associated with the club and made an outstanding contribution to Irish motorsport. After her many decades of service to the Leinster Motor Club and the sport, Anne Stevens was the obvious and unanimous choice. Through her many roles in motorcycle trials and car racing, and acting as club president, secretary, and pretty much every role within the Leinster Motor Club over the years, the board is in no doubt that Anne is the right choice. Following her retirement from the Leinster board, Anne continued volunteering in Irish motorsport in many different roles right through to the 2021 season as class coordinator for Ginetta Junior Ireland. When approached about the idea of naming the new trophy initially, took a bit of persuasion to convince Anne to allow the club to name a trophy in her honour. The trophy itself, pictured below, is 14 3/4 inch silver-plated Celtic design trophy made in the UK by Swatkins, the top trophy manufacturer in Europe. It will join two other Leinster Cups named after the Stevens family members, the Graham Stevens Cup, named after Anne's husband, and the Sam Stevens Cup, named after her father-in-law, both of which are presented annually for motorcycle trials. Another good story about Anne, she was cleaning out her attic at one stage and found the sign-on sheet for Ayrton Senna when he signed on at the Leinster Trophy back in 1982. He also sent a lovely letter back to the Leinster Trophy a few years later, which she had a copy of here at Mondello Park a few years ago. So remembered fondly by us all, Anne Stevens, and well done to young Jack Files for being the latest to put his name on her memorial trophy. So I think we do have a result for that last race. We do. It's been declared a result, and Scott Jackson takes the win. Lee Malone in second place, and Willie Lawrence completes the podium in third. First of the rookies is Evan Curran. Jonathan Files showing on that, as is Gordon Brown and Jamie Moylan, Derek Hogan, Richard Spence and Dennis Lambert, but I think probably Files and Moylan may be removed from that one because they're still out on the loop, I think, pulling their cars away from each other. They're both absolutely fine. We did see them on the live stream, so that's great. But top three, Scott Jackson, Lee Malone and Willie Lawrence. Now it's time for the big one. I'm looking at an article here, good man Leo, an article here about the Leinster Trophy, the first ever Leinster Trophy, when Faye Taylor, Miss Faye Taylor, the only woman competitor, won the Leinster Trophy, and the headline is "Nightmare Race Won by Woman. Many crash in Leinster Trophy struggle." Now, and if you read down, it's not the fact that a woman won it that made it a nightmare. There were just a lot of crashes. Miss Faye Taylor, the only woman competitor, won the Leinster Trophy race of Nightmare Bends at Skerries on Saturday. She used the German Adler car, which FBS Lefanu drove to victory in the Bray Round the Houses race, thus scoring a great double success for Mr. Robert Briscoe, the Fianna Fáil TD, who entered the car in both races. Two political colleagues, Mr. McEntee, Minister for Justice, and Mr. P. Rutledge, Minister for Justice, were spectators. So there you go. A light shower as the cars were on the starting line added 100 terrors to the many bends on the 13-mile course. One driver who crashed said the first few laps were like a nightmare as the cars slid about on the grease in the corners. The first victim of conditions was Frank Sutherland in a Singer, whose car got out of hand on a double S-bend, and he crashed from one side of the road to the other and was thrown out onto his face. It's nice and descriptive. C.W. Taylor, Sutherland's friend and teammate, was horrified when he flashed by the figure on the roadside, but soon afterwards he smashed his own Singer up to bits. No good news in this, is there? To pieces. There must have been plenty of red flags that day as well. P.M. Berkeley turned his Sunbeam upside down on a bend, and Taylor drove into a hedge at 70 miles per hour to avoid a worse smash. Several corners had close escapes at the narrow Lusk corner, and at the Monument Bend in Skerries, the cornering was hectic. At Lochshinny, Frank O'Boyle drove off the road into a field but continued. Charlie Manders ripped the tyre off his Adler and drove for 6 miles on the rim to make a rapid wheel change at the pits. With Manders and O'Boyle out, the running for first place lay between Dermot O'Cleary, a youngster taking part in his first race, Miss Taylor and Austin Dobson, the scratch man. Dobson on a Brooklands Alfa Romeo was rapidly forging through the field. Dobson made lap record after lap record, his speed gradually being forced from 69 to 75 average miles per hour. He was, however, unable to catch the flying lady driver. I feel like I've read a children's book there, the way it's written. That's fantastic. So that was Faye Taylor, the first ever winner of the Leinster Trophy back in 1934. First time the trophy was presented. So great stuff. 90-year history. 7 different venues have hosted this race. Skerries in 1934, Tala 35 to 39 and 1948, Wicklow 1950 to 57, Dunboyne 1958 to 65, Bishop's Court in 1967, Mondello Park, Club 1968, National 1969, 1997, 2005, International 1998 to 2004, 2006 to 2020, 2023 to 24, and Kirkestown 2021 and 2022. If you're wondering what the Mondello Park Club circuit was, well, that was down the main straight here to Castrol Corner, and then Campion Corner was just a kink to the left, and you headed down that the road they go to come back into the pits. That was a racetrack. And it's not completely straight. If you ever stand and look at it, it was like that was the S's, the BOAC S's actually, before turn 2 was called BOAC. So you went through there, and you can just imagine coming off that kink left to go round what would be the second bit of the S's, or Nordic Spirit Corner now. So it was very short but quite challenging. That's the circuit they used when this, the layout they used when Mondello opened in May 1968. So very, very short circuit. And then they added on what turn 3 at the time became Duckham's. So a lot of people called it the Duckham's Loop. Some people still do. And Stuart Cosgrave got the necessary funding. I think that was a very convoluted deal to add that Duckham's Loop on. Stuart telling us before it was funded by, would it be John Webb or somebody from the UK with some sort of a money coming back from takings and gate takings and stuff like that. Stuart, a real wheeler dealer, and very much one of the men behind Mondello Park, opening it back in 1968. So in 1969 that loop was added on, and the circuit became way, way longer. And in fact, the land, an Anorak's fact, seeing as we've got nothing happening on the stream, the land out beyond that, beyond the trees at turn 3, that was actually the land belonging to Mondello Park, and the original secondary extension was supposed to go down there and turn right and head out across the back of what is now the International Loop. But Martin Brain discovered that the land wasn't suitable, and the land that you now see out to the right, as I'm looking out, so down beyond Southside Corner, that is the International Loop, was far better land. So a land swap was done with a local farmer, and work began on that circuit in the late 90s. And Martin Brain pretty much funded all that himself. He did get a bit of grant and help, but he put a lot of his own money into this circuit. Around the same time, built the garages, the corporate suites in this tower, and that was able to attract British touring cars, F3, superbikes, and much, much more to Mondello Park. And we're using the international circuit again today. Opinion always split on the international circuit. The drivers tend to like it. It's tougher to commentate on it. Spectators don't like it as much because you can't see anything. They go out of view for ages, whereas a good viewing point, and you can see most of the national circuit here from the grandstand or that area behind the bar. But the international track, they do tend to go out of view. It's okay when they're live streamed, but if they're not live streamed, you're waiting around for a long time for the cars to come back. So Formula V is not being released yet, so that'll have the tension going for them, won't it? All these guys getting ready to compete for the Leinster Trophy. Here's what's happening. There's a big clean-up operation down there. Our wonderful marshals, and that's Chris Nugent, I think it is, and the rescue team in there too. So they won't leave that until they're completely happy that it's dried up. They pour some chemicals down onto it, as you'll see. That soaks up all the liquid, and then they brush the whole lot away. There's Drew Furlong making his way out there. Drew runs the whole show here on ICCR days, so he's down there to have a quick look himself. That's one of the cars coming back in. That's Jamie Boylan's car. He'd been going so well, but that car slowed suddenly, and Files just got caught up with it. No malice in that one, certainly. And rescue crew working away there. Just whatever fluids are on the track being removed. It's off the racing line, but better to be cautious. So in case I'm boring you all to tears with my stories of times gone by, we'll go to a far more exciting commercial break here on the Beacon Hospital live stream.
GSE. Wow. Wow. Der Opel Astra Electric.
Well, welcome back. I've just been told that I sent the entire production crew downstairs in the outside broadcast unit to sleep with my stories about the Leinster Trophy. I thought they were mildly amusing. Obviously, I'm getting old. Anyway, far more importantly, the Formula V's are out on track for the biggest race of the year. They look absolutely fantastic. There are loads of them. The class being really well run, very well supported, bringing on a lot of junior drivers lately, and they are racing for the most famous trophy in Irish motorsport. I can see it going down onto the podium already, waiting for some lucky recipient. Now, Ronan Doherty has probably been the pace since Friday. I'm told he was going extremely quickly on Friday, and he was very quick this morning in wet qualifying. To try again now, if he gets away, he's probably the danger man here, isn't he? But getting off the line is not that easy in a V. There's a lot of technique to it, depending on which car it is. I mean, the normal theory is you rev it as hard as you can and you sidestep the clutch in second gear, and as soon as you get going, you grab third. But I make that sound very easy. It isn't. Watch out for Jordan Kelly off the line. Dan Polly on the outside of the front row. Gavin Buckley. Colin Blackburn. Colin Blackburn didn't look at ease in the car in the wet conditions. He's as quick as anybody in dry conditions, so watch out for him, the Black Leastone. Sun coming out now. Compared to the weather we had this morning, it's absolutely beautiful at Mondello Park. Great to see a bit of sunshine for the Leinster Trophy Race. Leinster Motor Club giving us loads of information. Don't worry, I won't read out any more of those in case you doze off before they get to the start-finish line. But certainly there's a load of history here today with the trophies that are being given out. There's another one here, the O'Reilly Cup, that's going to go to the Fiesta STs later on. Names back to the 70s and everything. We'll have a look at that one later on. But certainly this is for the big one, the Leinster Trophy. Ayrton Senna, John Watson, Mika Hakkinen, Eddie Jordan. Oh, have all won this. It's going to be one of these drivers added to that list in about 20 minutes time, or 12 minutes if they have their chance. So here they come, air-cooled cars. They do not like sitting on the grid for too long because I sounded like there was the green eggs and ham kids book there, but they do not like sitting on the grid for too long because they're air cooled, so they need some air running through them. They don't have radiators, don't have any coolant, and they run really well once they're moving. But on a warm day, if they're left sitting on the grid too long, very, very rarely they can pop out a plug. They'll actually blow the plug and the tread straight out of the head. We've seen it here a few times. So you'll see the front runners looking in the mirrors, just making sure there are no issues at the back. We all get lined up. It's all been done particularly well. We're getting ready to go. They'll now be pressing the clutch and selecting second gear in these cars. They'll be watching the BMW bridge. Red lights come on, away they go. Polly gets the better start. Can he come across the bows of Doherty? He can't. Doherty goes back in under wheel to wheel, but Doherty's slight edge as they go down towards turn one. And Polly giving him the big squeeze. You might as well down. It's the Leinster Trophy, but Doherty not to be denied, and he leads down into turn one. And a big run round the outside like you'd expect from Colin Blackburn, which gets him up to fourth place, but Buckley just chops him off. And that allows Jordan Kelly to have a go at him. Jordan Kelly, not a great start or first corner by his lofty standards. So it's Doherty now trying as hard as he can, just almost a little flick of the car down into the first apex of turn three as he tries to get away. Ronald Doherty, then Polly, then Buckley as they come back down towards us. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars making a break. Jack Byrne in that group 2. Let's just try and name check them when we see them. We're all still going. BMW safety car still running as they head up the hill for the first time. 15-minute race, this one for the Leinster Trophy. Doesn't matter who comes second, they're all going for the win. Blackburn trying an unorthodox line around the outside there, but Kelly not showing the pace we'd expect, and Jack Byrne just bearing down on him. Jordan Kelly now as they head down towards 7A and B. So Doherty leading this one, getting away, I feel, a little bit from Polly. Not by much, but just inching away early on here on the opening lap. That's Jack Byrne, the Abbey Lawn car. In fact, it's a very good opening lap, isn't it? Oh, he ramps the cars, they all do, over that second bit of Bahrain spends, right over that inside curb. Be rough enough on the car, but it's the quickest way they're going to do it. And through the left-hander, beautiful car control from Kelly as we'd expect there. He just catches a drift when he fires it in. Blackburn looking quick there, all over the back. I'll see the puff of smoke. That's him lifting to try and get a run. He lifted twice there, try and get a run at Buckley. He didn't want to be too close to him at the apex. He does get the run. He then slices down the inside, and that puts him up to third place. I did say he was a danger man. He's gone wide though, and Buckley's just giving him the switcheroo on the exit of south side. Side by side now, Leastone on the outside, Shane on the inside. Then it's Jordan Kelly. Then it's Jack Byrne. None of this bothering Doherty and Polly. And Blackburn's got to do it all again. Tear up the first script, spin the wheel again, Marty. He's got to have another go. As they come out of Castrol Corner, Jordan Kelly under pressure there from Jack Byrne. Then it's Owen Kelly, Kieran Hannon, Conor Melia leading the C runners. Then Charlie Hart right behind him, another C runner. Then Eamon Thornton, Niall O'Mara, Andy Keogh, Robert Fleming, Ger Byrne, Paul Lewis, Colin Lewis, Oliver Devlin, Simon Rudd, Phil Gillespie, Stephen Roach, and Adam McNamara. So there we go. Certainly all stretch out front. Polly trying hard, and he's shaking off that battle for third place, but he just can't quite stay with Doherty. Doherty was 1.16 seconds ahead when they crossed the line at the end of lap 1. That's an impressive first lap, and I think he's probably not finished easing away just yet. Blackburn is probably the one we can expect to be on a mission. We don't know what kind of pace he has because he hasn't really been uncorked just yet. He needs to get by Buckley, but Buckley's very quick. Very good defensive driver. Didn't fight too hard when Blackburn fired it down the inside, just got on the brakes and then came across the back of him for the switchback and had the inside line then coming onto the main straight. Have we lost Blackburn? We're out of shot. Just as we went out of shot there, Blackburn gone missing at 7B. Not sure what happened there, but he's definitely gone missing, our fourth place car. If we get it. There's Jack Byrne. There's Jordan Kelly right with him. And that's Owen Kelly. Is that Blackburn? I don't think it is. We're just trying to spot him. I'm not sure if he stopped out. He's not coming through. Don't see Blackburn at all. No, he hasn't come through, so Blackburn stopped out on track somewhere. Yeah, Blackburn out of our shot. Blackburn's car's pulled in. Unfortunately, a terrible day for him. The car pulled off. He pulled off at the start of race 1. Did look quite quick in that one, didn't he? As he was crowding Buckley for 3rd place, but he would have had to go some, I think, to catch Doherty, who set another. There's the car who set another fastest lap. That is such a shame, Colin Blackburn. So it's Doherty, Polly, and Buckley the order now. Polly, a former winner of the Leinster Trophy, in that car. The LOH Shane, ex-Declan Quigley car. Oh, a lot of smoke from somebody there going out onto the international. A lot of smoke as they head up the hill from the right-hand side of the engine up towards Lola. So that's Kelly and Hannon. Owen Kelly and Kieran Hannon. Kieran Hannon would be delighted to get going again. The car stopped, or he might have spun off actually in race 1, but he didn't make the finish. Waves yellows ahead. Not sure why we have waves yellows, but we do. Let's keep an eye out as these guys come through. Green flag, so somebody at the first bit of... It's hardly for Blackburn's car, is it? Don't see anything else off over there. Anyway, it's not affecting us. So the leader coming down to start another lap. And in fact, there's the battle now. It's going to be for 2nd place because Buckley has to put a quick lap in. He's right on the tail of Polly. Oh, and there's the lap that broke the gap really. Doherty 53.5, Polly 55.2, Buckley 54.7. Nobody else beyond slower than or faster than 57. So we go down through them. Doherty 53.587, fast lap of the race, and all of a sudden he's leading by 5.23 seconds. So 8.5 minutes still to run in this one. Doherty has just checked out up front. 5.2 seconds the gap. So it's Doherty, Polly, Buckley, Jack Byrne, Jordan Kelly, Owen Kelly, Kieran Hannon, Eamon Thornton, Conor Melia, and Charlie Hart. So Melia leading the C's, but only by 0.4 of a second from Charlie Hart and Niall O'Mara, as Buckley tries to pile the pressure on Dan Polly, now down at 7A. And through 7B, Polly's a seasoned campaigner. He hasn't been out in a long time, but very experienced driver, very composed, doesn't tend to get rattled. Through Bahrain's Benz, through the right-hander, back through the left-hander. Polly's car tended to by LOH Motorsport, and Gavin Buckley's by Adam McCauley, former champion himself. So both cars will be well set up, these two Shane chassis. There's a green flag, there's a waves yellow now at Nordic Spirit corner, and a green at the final corner, but again I can't see anything in between. Somebody must have had a spin and parked out of our shot as they come out onto the main straight. This time Buckley goes to the inside, Polly closes it, he goes back to the outside. Fourth gear now, flat out as they go by us. Buckley on the outside, gets the run, gets alongside Polly. Polly locks it up. Huge lock up for Dan Polly. Surely he'll hang on to it, he will, because Buckley gets driven wide. They both went in so late on the brakes. They were both lucky to get turned in there. That won't be a quick lap for either of them. The gap for the leader out to 8.165 seconds now with 6 minutes to go. So it's Doherty way ahead from Dan Polly, Gavin Buckley, Jack Byrne, Jordan Kelly and Owen Kelly. That's your top 6. The respective class leaders are obviously the A class leader is Ronan Doherty, who's leading. Jordan Kelly is a B driver now, and he's in 5th place overall leading the Bs. And Conor Melia is just about leading Charlie Hart for the C Championship honours, and they are 9th and 10th place overall as the battle rages for 2nd place. So Doherty's still leading, massive gap. There's 2 different lines now. This time Buckley gets a tighter line on the way out, but Polly carries that speed right around the outside. They're side by side on the brakes. Polly defends, Buckley back to the outside, tries to switch back to the inside, but Polly's just knows exactly what he's doing. He's putting the car exactly where Buckley needs to be, and actually getting himself a good exit out of 7B as a result. Can't even see Ronan Doherty there at the top of the screen. Literally miles ahead at this stage. It's a good battle for 2nd, but they're equally, they're way ahead. They're 5.5 seconds ahead last time around of Jack Byrne and Jordan Kelly and Owen Kelly. There's the green flag being waved and the yellow flag in the background. There's a car on the left halfway up the hill there. That's where it was, just almost at the escape road or the pit lane entry as Buckley ramps his Shane up over that inside curb at Nordic Spirit corner. Leader's already gone through and started another lap. 53.9 for him. Polly comes through this time. It'll be a slow lap because they both outbraked each other, didn't they, down there? 56.9 for Polly, 57.1 for Buckley, 56.7 for Jack Byrne, 56.6 for Jordan Kelly. So they're quicker than the two boys in front. Polly and Buckley certainly slowing each other down just a little bit. Somebody trailing a stream of oil. Is that her? It is. It's Conor Melia. It's our C class leader. He'd be lucky not to get a flag, I'd imagine. But himself and Charlie Hart battling away for that for C honours. And of course the C Championship, the Star Tomorrow Championship, will be in the up for offering there as well. Oh, this time Buckley on the outside, Polly on the inside. He's going to try right round the outside. If it was the national track, that might work. I'm not so sure if anyone can make it work here at the international, and it doesn't work on that occasion. Polly knows exactly what he's doing, just drives out to the curb on the outside, and the two of them still line astern, heading back up the hill with 4.5 minutes to run on this one. Hand in the air for somebody there. That's Owen Kelly. Owen Kelly in trouble, going up the hill towards Lola. Oh, this time again, a huge run for Buckley, and he went to the right and Polly went with him. Almost got himself shoveled onto the grass. There was a territorial dispute at top speed there on the way down to 7A and B. I think Polly actually covered that as Buckley made the move. It didn't look like a subsequent wave, but certainly very, very close between both of them as they head back up towards Boraine's Bends. Through the right and through the left. Polly not getting ruffled, not getting out of shape. Buckley really piling the pressure onto him though, car number 3. Just a slightly earlier turn in is all they'll get from Polly, and again both cars handling beautifully. You can see it as they get to the apex there. Both get on the power at the same time. Buckley gets a slight run, but not enough to do anything. It's a stationary yellow anyway at Nordic Spirit corner. Doherty starts another lap, still 53.6. He's just doing 53.5, 53.6 every lap. Buckley gets a better apex there than Polly, but Polly carries that speed around the outside, carries it onto the curb, doesn't need to defend, just nice and easy in fourth gear, moves across to take that line down towards turn 1. On somebody coming into the pits, there's one of the cars just peeling off at high speed. That's Conor Melia, that's our Star Tomorrow leader. I don't know if he got a flag, I don't think he did. Oh, he might have. Let's see, yeah, he did, 56. I can see he got a flag down below us here. I can see his number on the board out of our view. Well, that's a shame. Looks like probably a slight oil leak or something. There was a little bit of smoke going from that car, but it certainly hasn't slowed down at all. He'll be heartbroken. He's such a fan. I interviewed him at the Dundrum Supercar weekend. There we are. It's a black flag. He got, actually, according to this, we have a race control sign coming up. So that's game over for him. They're having a look at the back of the car, but definitely there was, yeah, they're just showing him there in the pit lane. There's actually oil on the back of the car. So actually explaining to him why. That is such a shame. Heartbreaking for a young driver, and he'd been going so well. He's under big pressure from Charlie Hart there. Christy Moran down there as well. Usually it's a rocker cover or something like that on these V's. Such a shame. He'd been going really well. That puts Charlie Hart up into the lead for the C Championship. 2 minutes to go on this one. 7A and 7B for the two leaders, but literally in a class of his own here is Ronan Doherty. Nobody touching him, and he really felt he could have won this one last year, but he had a problem. A cracked stack I think broke and let air in, and he had to stop with a misfire. But everybody had troubles last year, went wrong for loads of people, and controversial end to it. It looks pretty straight cut this time round for the Leinster Trophy. Well, second place isn't so straightforward just yet. Minute and 33. This is probably the final lap. Still Buckley can't find a way around down Polly. He's weaving around there. Polly almost tempting him to go down the inside, isn't he? He's nice and slow coming across to take that inside line. He's no snaps, no urgent defence. And Stan Polly very much, oh, somebody goes around there. At least on, was there a little bit of contact just as we came into view? I don't think so. So bits of something on the ground there. Should be able to get that going again. Starts it up. Hooks second gear to get away. No problem at all there. Niall O'Mara, I think that was with a quick rotation, was it? Yeah, this is going to be the final lap. This battle for second place still rages. Ronan Doherty looking good out front. Round the long Bridgestone corner. Third gear grabbing fourth on the exit. Up the hill now. And once again, nice and easy for Polly. Just goes to the centre of the road. Doesn't over defend. I'm not sure if it's a dab of the brakes or a lift there. There's certainly a lift. You can see a little puff of smoke at the V's when anybody lifts when the engines are warm. Both the cars handling so well. You can see it there. And once again, Polly sees the run coming. Just eases across to the right. You can go down the outside if you like. It's a double right-hander. Nowhere to go there, so nothing he could do with that run, really. And Polly slows it right down at the apex there. I don't think so, he says to Gavin Buckley. And that's hugely frustrating for Buckley. Perfectly legitimate, but great racecraft. And already celebrating out a shot is Ronan Doherty. Here he comes. That's Southside Motor Factory's corner. He's waving at the crowds already. That is a dominant win. Here he comes. This young man's been very impressive for the last number of years in sim racing and in real racing, and he is so happy with that. Great bunch of guys around him, clapping his hands. The Leinster Trophy, the most famous trophy in Irish motor racing, and the latest name on it, joining Ayrton Senna, John Watson, Mika Hakkinen, and many, many more, will be Ronan Doherty. Who's going to be second? It's surely going to be Dan Polly. He's been so relaxed here, so calm, and Gavin Buckley has been superb. He has tried absolutely everywhere, but it didn't work. They're so closely matched, and they go across the line absolutely together to complete the podium, and that'll be they can all be proud of the results there. Ronan Doherty takes the win, Dan Polly takes second place, and Gavin Buckley right with him in third place. Jack Byrne will take fourth place from Jordan Kelly. Owen Kelly kept going despite that hand in the air earlier on. Kieran Hannon will be delighted with seventh and third place in B's because he didn't finish the first race. Eamon Thornton close enough to him there, crossing the line now. And then we're keeping an eye for our as Paul Lewis goes through, and Andy Keogh, and that beautiful, two beautifully turned out cars there, and they're racing hard on the run to the line. And Lewis just about hangs on in that beautiful orange Leastone. And there's Colin Lewis. It's Simon Rudd and Colin Lewis crossing the line now together. There we go. So let's have a look and see Charlie Hart in 9th place overall, and he takes C honours. Jordan Kelly takes B honours. It's 5th place overall, and Ronan Doherty, of course, takes the big one, the Leinster Trophy, and he will raise that up over his head very, very shortly at Mondello Park. So great stuff. And that young man gets to add his name to a very salubrious list of Leinster Trophy race winners at Mondello Park and many other venues over the years. I won't list out the venues again because I bored everyone to tears apparently earlier with my history lesson, so I don't want my production team going to sleep again. I can hear them waking up downstairs. There's your official result. I've just been told that there's a nice Facebook comment about my speech. I would say it was tongue-in-cheek and very sarcastic if that's the case. But that's not the general consensus in the outside broadcast unit downstairs, I can tell you. But Ronan Doherty, there you are. What a great drive from him. He nailed it off the line. He kept the head down. He just 53.5, 53.5, 53.5 all the way through. Nobody could stay with him. And he crossed the line 20 seconds ahead of anybody else. In a Formula V race, that's very, very rare. So that young man and his dad and his mum and his team around him can be very, very proud. That's a very good performance, and two talented drivers in second and third. It's not like he left a load of novices behind him. He left some very, very quick drivers in his wake as well. So they'll be on the trophy. They'll be on the podium soon, and will be presented with the famous Leinster Trophy. We will be back on track in a few minutes' time with Siltec Safety Zetecs Fiestas. I can see Neil Murphy down there in the Siltec Safety van, the pace car van with his flashing lights on board. Great view of Mondello Park there from the camera up at Southside Motor Factory's corner. You can see all the signage on the left-hand side of the circuit. No signs left. It looked like a little bit barren a couple of years back. Now it looks like a scale X track when you were a kid. All the signs down the main straight, all the corners renamed, and a couple of new ones coming as well. The big one this weekend, of course, is Turn 1, renamed Castrol. Castrol, an iconic motorsport name, and was a corner here back in the 1970s and 80s. So my granddad told me. I'll pretend I'm a bit younger than I am. Here comes Neil Murphy with the flashing lights, the most enthusiastic sponsor in the paddock. We'll have to get him an award for that. Well, we did. We got him a Fiesta Zetecs van, and he parks up down beneath us here. Siltec Safety, West Dublin-based safety wear and sportswear and branded wear supplier. In fact, nearly every team in the paddock that has branded teamwear, it's come from Siltec Safety. We have an initiative here in Mondello Park called Keep It in the Paddock. We do a newsletter and we profile 3 companies before every race meeting. And a lot of businesses have started, a lot of companies have started giving each other a little bit of business as a result. Rugby clubs are good at it, football clubs are good at it. No reason why we shouldn't do it here. A lot of self-employed people in the paddock seems to be working quite well, and certainly Neil is getting a lot of business in the paddock as a result of his association with this Fiesta Zetecs Championship. Now, we did see photos of Danny Mullins on the podium already, so let's see if he can do it again in his second time out. The dry conditions will definitely suit him better. There's Neil Murphy flashing lights on, getting ready to lead them round. He'll really lead them round for a lap at the international track, and then he will peel off into the pit lane. They'll come down, form up on the grid, and we'll go racing at Mondello Park. All the races for the rest of the day reduced to 13 minutes from 15. You know something, when the races are spaced out, you think that's great, but when the races are really, really exciting, you want them to keep going. But it's not up to me, it's up to the people one floor below me, so let's see what happens. I think we have the championship standings updated from race 1, so let's have a look at that. As we can see John O'Hara in the background with the shades on, looking after Dave Maguire, his championship contender in this one. There's the championship as it's been updated already. It's great work from timing.ie and everybody else involved there. So Sean McGovern now leads it. He was on equal points, but he's now 10 points ahead of Dave Maguire. So Dave Maguire's got to do a bit of work to do here, a job of work to do, as Matt Feeney used to say. William Kellett in third place, 112 points. So it's 1-2-3 for Sean McGovern. It's 1-1-3 for Dave Maguire, 112 for William Kellett, 97 for Jason O'Connell, 89 for Peter Barrable. This is without dropped scores, of course, so we'll have to take them into account. Then Andy Kavanagh, 62, Alan Dawson, 54, Michael Keogh, 50, Kelsey Kirby, 40, Mark O'Donoghue, 38. So we'll have a look at the grid in a moment. Should be almost ready to go, but I think they're still maybe hauling in a few cars. There's the rest. That's Toby Maguire, who isn't out because he had a gearbox problem, unfortunately. Now, he may be okay with his rookie championship lead because we can bring some drop scores into account. You could drop 2 scores in this one towards the end of the year, and I think Toby had scored in all of them, so he won't be doing too badly. It allows for stuff like this. It can allow you to have a bad weekend, allow you to have a mechanical failure, and it doesn't mean your championship is gone. But there are some very quick rookies out here today. Mark Daly was so quick early on. Sam Doyle is quick. Adam O'Mahony, Jordan Flanagan, all these guys. And then, of course, we have Danny Mullins, who stood on the podium already and got a trophy to take home with him, so he'll be hoping to do that again. We'll see how it goes when we go racing in just a minute's time. So here they come. Top 6 get reversed from race 1, so it's always excitement. Whoever finishes in 6th place gets a bump up to take the lead for the next one. Now, let's have a look. Did anything change? Mark O'Donoghue is taking up pole position for this one. Jason O'Connell alongside. Championship contender Dave Maguire. Dave Maguire needs to win this, doesn't he, really, to get back into championship contention. Then William Kellett alongside him. Peter Barrable and Sean McGovern. Sean McGovern has a 10-point lead in the championship, but he won't keep that if he stays in 6th. I don't expect he will stay in 6th. Then Alan Dawson and Kelsey Kirby again going beautifully. She's on row 4. Darren Lawler in the Mondello Park team building car in row 5 with Andy Kavanagh alongside in the Miles Plus car. Then it's Josh Brown and Mark Daly, who won the rookies early on, gave himself a helping of points. Michael McArdle in the Attic Conversions car. Sam Doyle in the car that looks like John Player Special. It's just been liveried up, black with gold pinstripes. Then it's Danny Mullins. Danny went really well in, struggled a little bit in qualifying in relative terms. He was quick in testing here a few weeks ago. Qualifying was difficult for him. These cars can be difficult in the wet, as we said earlier. They don't run wets and slicks. They run a track day Nankang tire. It's very effective in the wet, but like all of those tires, you get a lot of wheel spin and lockups and stuff when it's really, really wet, as it was this morning. So he qualified near the back, but he charged up to 3rd place in the rookies, and actually he was right on the back bumper of Sam Doyle, who was in 2nd place when the race was stopped. So he'll be wondering if he can climb one step higher perhaps on that rookie podium and get himself 2 trophies in one day. Michael Moynihan, another rookie alongside him. Then Alex McCann, Jordan Flanagan, Philip Lawless, Keith Lenihan. Keith Lenihan has the trendiest camper and trailer combo ever. I saw it on social media this morning. His car's always immaculately prepared, the Keith Lenihan Motors car, but he's got a pop-top camper and a matching trailer down in the paddock, and they just look absolutely incredible. Adam O'Mahony next up, then Liv Corcoran, then it says Mick Keogh and Eduardo Gonzaga. We certainly won't be seeing Mick Keogh out there because he was on his roof earlier on. The car didn't look too bad when I saw it. I'm sure he won't agree. His car's always immaculate, but it was a light, relatively low speed roll, and I'm sure we'll see that car back out again. Eduardo Gonzaga showing and Toby Maguire, but I don't think they will arrive on the grid, will they? Let's see, because Toby Maguire had gearbox issues. I'm told there are frantic Fiesta ST gearbox changes happening in the paddock as I speak. There's Jordan Flanagan and all the rest coming through. There's Keith Lenihan. That's Mick McCardle there with the orange grille. Sam Doyle, Danny Mullins, we can see them all coming through. There's Phil Lawless in the Zetecs car, light blue. So Neil Murphy leading them through Nordic Spirit corner. There is Eduardo Gonzaga weaving around, our Italian or Brazilian driver. The Leave and Hostel sponsorship on the side of that car is great on social media. Always announcing the next race. He's got a great team of guys behind him. They work very hard on that car when anything goes wrong. So top 6 reversed, just for a little bit of spice in this one. And this is for the, let me have a look, the Dunlop Trophy. So another impressive bit of kit. Just looking at it here, Dunlop Trophy, very impressive. Going right back to the 1930s. And on it some slightly more modern. Now Jonathan Files has won it, Gordon's won it 4 times, 5 times. Or else the engraver had a stutter. It's his name's all over it, Gordon Kellett's. Then it's Sean Newsom. Dan Polly has won it before. Sean Doyle. Loads of current day drivers. Noel Green, the late Noel Green, great to see his name on it. Frank O'Rourke, lots of Mondello history on that one. Arthur Collier. Bill Gowdy, Harold McGarity, Bill Gowdy again, Patsy McGarity, Gary Gibson. My God, some great names on that one. Anyway, we're getting ready to go. Hope these guys realise the history in these trophies that they're going to be holding aloft. One of them will be holding aloft later on. Whichever Jason O'Connell, very much a find from this class, a rookie from 2 years ago, won the rookie championship and then won a race outright in that year. And he's been a front runner since. Look at the way he's got the car angled towards us. Oh, it's angled very severely, isn't it? Aggressively almost across the bows of the pole man with no lock on though. He's hoping to get the jump when the red light goes out on the BMW bridge. So O'Donoghue it is with Jason O'Connell alongside him. Gap up the middle for Dave Maguire. He'll be looking to fill that gap and away they go. Oh no, the pole man just rockets away. So slicing in behind him is all you get. Oh, I squeezed in there when I saw that. Peter Barable and Dave Maguire there with a territorial dispute up against the Armco barrier. What a start from the pole man, and Kellett it is down the outside to take second place. Although everybody's down the inside of Kellett now, and it's 3 or 4 abreast as we head towards Campion Corner. Kellett should be able to hang on. Indeed, he is up over the inside curve. Maguire goes with him. So Barable's the only one dropped back a little bit there, I think, as they go through Campion Corner and out towards turn 3. But it is certainly Mark O'Donoghue leading. Let's see where Danny Mullins is. Can we see the car there anyway? There he is on the inside. Oh, he's got someone trying to go around the outside of him at turn 3. Neck and neck, and somebody goes round. Liv Corcoran, no, she's hung onto it. No, she hasn't. Big cloud of dust down there. Do we see yellows? I see a stationary yellow on the exit in the background. It's not waved, so she might be able to recover. Fingers crossed. Oh, they stream up the hill now. They're absolutely together. Nobody getting away. Kelsey Kirby in there too. The Mondello Park Andy Kavanagh car. There's Danny Mullins, not too far away from the mix either. He's ahead of a group of cars as they head up Kennedy's Rise. There's Liv Corcoran. She did hang on to it. So great stuff from her. She heads up the hill, the novice. And the leaving car of Gonzaga trying to get up there too. And it's Kellett having a go for the lead already. And in fact, Maguire getting the nose up the inside. But that nose gets chopped off him on the run down towards 7A and B. I think Kellett's down the inside here. You know he is. William Kellett in the DMC car. And look at the 2 red cars so late in the brakes. The pincer movement, one either side in stereo. He's just been passed on the brakes down there. And in fact, O'Donoghue fighting back as well. And right up onto the back bumper, the new leader, William Kellett, as they head up back up towards Bahrain's Bends, the right and left. And it is Kellett leading now from O'Donoghue. From Maguire, then it's Barable. Barable a little bit slow too there. O'Connell tries him on the outside, and McGovern, I think that is down the inside, is it? He is. Barable holding it around the outside, but no, McGovern's got up the inside. Alan Dawson, I think it is in the mix too. Barable will be looking to sit around the outside here. There won't be any shortage of commitment, and there isn't. And in fact, Barable gets around the outside of Dawson, as indeed does Jason O'Connell get around the outside of Dawson. But up front it's Kellett as they come out onto the main straight. Kellett also in the mix for the championship, remember, but Dave McGuire needs more than this. He'll be looking in the mirror and seeing McGovern leading that pack behind him. And Mullins well up as they come out onto the main straight. Let's watch this as they go by. Oh, he's right in the mix there. Eduardo Gonzaga right in his bumper and makes contact with the back of Danny Mullins' car as they go by us. That could have been very nasty. Eduardo Gonzaga pushing the back of Danny Mullins' car and then flicking out behind him, and that could have unsettled the car quite easily. Danny Mullins now in 15th place, and he's in 3rd place in the rookies and well ahead of 4th. So Sam Doyle leads the rookies from Mark Daly, and Danny Mullins in 3rd place. So William Kellett, Mark O'Donoghue, David McGuire, Sean McGovern and Peter Barrable. Top 5 now. Nothing changing as they're coming back towards us, although Dave McGuire has closed them down just a little bit. We'll see their relative pace when they cross the line next time round. Well, the historian Brian Manning just telling me that the Dunlop Trophy was first awarded to the 3rd place driver in the Leinster Trophy and was given its own race later. And Home Patrick was originally given to 2nd place. I learned that yesterday. So there you are. Polly is the 33rd driver with a multiple podium in Leinster Trophy. The first winner from the Northern Ireland since 2006, and that was Chris Lone. So great stuff from Brian Manning, and take that if you thought I was boring earlier. Brian Manning is far more boring than me and far more knowledgeable, and down the inside goes Dave McGuire. Cracking move, door to door, not a lunge into the quarter panel, and racing room given by Mark O'Donoghue. That's top class saloon car racing. You love to see it, don't you? Not into the quarter panel. There was a gap down the inside and then door to door, and you can be sure Mark O'Donoghue will go back at him now. Top 3 together, but that was a move that Dave McGuire needed to make. He needed cars between him and the series leader, Sean McGovern, and that's what he's got. He's up to 2nd place now. Can he do anything about William Kellett? He's looking very strong in the LOH Motorsport car here. Young Dave McGuire in 2nd place now. O'Donoghue not really in championship running. He hasn't done all the races, and certainly he's going better in this car than he goes in his own. Oh, just as I say it, commentators curse. He goes wide, wide, wide off onto the grass. That will allow McGovern back up to him. We'll check them as they come back towards us. Danny Mullins very committed through paddock corner. Nordic Spirit there getting a great run. He's getting the hang of this in the background, and he's down the inside for a place again. Exactly what we told him not to do. Watch the top of the screen. There he is. Mullins down the inside and gets it done on Mick McCardle. So he's up another place. He's chasing down those rookies ahead. So Sam Doyle leads the rookies from Mark Daly. They're 11th and 12th. So Danny Mullins was 17th. He's now up to 15th place, and he's 3rd in rookies again as they go by us. So Kellett, McGuire, McGovern, and O'Donoghue leading the overall class. Somebody stopping. Oh, that's Josh Brown. That's a shame. He's done a lot of work on that car himself and cleaned it up really well with those graphics lately. But he really tries hard with his racing. But he's pulled in on what's normally called Rallycross 2, just at the Bridgestone signage there. More interesting facts from Brian. You could have given me these during one of the spaced out races, Brian. Not the most exciting race of the day here. What else? Not first race since 2018 with no safety car or red flag. Well, there you go. Dunlop Trophy was first awarded to 3rd place, given its own race later. Great stuff. So all the facts coming through from Brian Manning. Absolutely brilliant. Oh, he goes wide just as we just cut away. That was Danny Mullins going wide. I think he might have got a little bit of a shoulder in the door as he was trying to get back online. He's lost a place. He's lost 2 places now, and a big lockup into Lola Corner as they disappear out of our view. Oh, look at this on the brakes now, having to go defensive because McGovern's on the attack, but it's a battle on for the lead. Look at this. Kellett now under massive pressure from Dave McGuire Jr. Barrable in the mix too. He's coming up here. Barrable's telling me that his car is on and off and on and off, and when it's working, it's flying, and he keeps getting this intermittent problem, and he's been changing lambda sensors and stuff. Oh, McGovern gets very, very sideways, just trying to fight off Barrable there. McGuire looking very, very racy here. William Kellett's hugely experienced. For such a young man, he's got massive experience and he's very quick, but McGuire all over him here and certainly looking quicker. He's come back up to his back bumper. McGovern was fastest lap though in 4th place. But Mark O'Donoghue looking strong in 3rd, although that's the 2nd time he's done that. It's the 2nd time I've said it and then he's done it, so maybe I need to stop saying he looks safe in 3rd place because McGovern's closing him down. Here comes McGuire. Oh, and Kellett very, very slow to get on the power at the apex there, and almost into the back of him was Dave McGuire. It's a legitimate move here at Mondello Park, but you don't want anyone getting a run at you. Kellett there looking a little bit guilty as he went by us, but no need to be. That's a very well-known move at Mondello Park. If somebody tries to get down the outside, you can switch back to the inside. You just don't get on the power quite as quickly as you normally would, just in case they get that impetus, they get that run at you out of the corner, because it's a long straight in these cars. They're only about 80 brake horsepower, and any little bit of an advantage will drag you up alongside your rival. It's definitely on for 3rd place as well. This is a cracking race. It's what we expect from the budget tin tops. Let's see when they go by us. So Danny Mullins down 3 places, but he's still 3rd place in rookies. Not by much. Adam O'Mahony all over him now. Within a couple of seconds, a second of him. So he's got to get the head down again. That was a mistake. He went a little bit wide at Bridgestone corner. So here they come back down to us again. 5 minutes and 31 still to go. Oh, look at McGovern looking for a gap down the inside. There isn't one there, and Barrable right with him as well. It's far from over, you know, this race. Dave Maguire looking for a gap on the grass. You won't find one there, Dave. Back on now. There's Andy Kavanagh having a go at... who's that? That's Darren Lawler in the Mondello team building car. The Mondello mechanics love this car. They work on it during the week. They stay back late. They have plenty of fun, and they all have a go on it. They use it in the 6R. And there's Danny Mullins now in the centre of the screen. White car with the blue bumpers. Still hanging on for a double podium. Andy Kavanagh now trying to have a go at Darren Lawler. The more miles plus trying to get on terms. The Mondello car, big lock up down the inside into 3rd place. Goes McGovern. Barrable's going to do them both. He does. Barrable does both of them. Again, door-to-door stuff, nothing too bad there, although O'Donoghue might feel a little bit aggrieved by that one, but again, it's all door-to-door. That's Dawson now up a place as well, so it's all gone wrong there for Mark O'Donoghue, really. And Jason O'Connell, the recovering Jason O'Connell. That's Kelsey Kirby. She's going really well, just behind them, continuing her top 10 run. She's in 8th place overall, and she'd be delighted with this one. So it's eased off a little bit up front. Kellett's got a little bit of a happy gap. That is Barrable ahead now. That was a good opportunistic move by Barrable to take 2 places, but it has definitely all gone wrong now for Mark O'Donoghue, who had been going so well. But he gets back up the inside of Jason O'Connell, I think, as they come back towards us. They're neck and neck on the main straight. Can he hold it down the inside? He can quite easily, actually. He just drives by, although it's a big switchback and a late break and move down the inside out of our view. I think he managed to get that done. He did. Manages to hold on to it. Barrable still holding back Sean McGovern. It's exactly what Maguire wants. 0.8 of a second in it. Fastest lap was to Sean McGovern still. Last time round, a personal best for William Kellett. That gave him a little bit of a gap up front. So it's Kellett, Maguire and Barrable top 3. And McGovern, Dawson and Mark O'Donoghue. And look at this battle, just going out of our view momentarily. Side by side there in the background. And that was O'Donoghue and Jason O'Connell still going at it. So just it'll be 20 points if it stays like that for Kellett. It'll be 17 for Maguire, 14 for Barrable, and 12 points for McGovern. So 5 points Maguire will get back from that 10-point deficit that we saw him with earlier. So let's have a look at that incident again down at 7A and B with the double pass by Peter Barrable. As Danny Mullen goes a little bit wide again, he's trying very hard. There we go. They both go wide. He does a switch back to the inside. Yeah, Barrable's perfectly legit. The 3 of them come together, but door to door, it's 3 of them turning in. It's nobody in the quarter panel. So, yeah, that's good saloon car racing. I mean, 2 people mightn't think so, but they're certainly not barging out of the way there. There was a gap. Barrable waited, turned in a bit later and got on it. But McGovern will be looking to have a go back at him. It's just unfortunate there, having driven so well for Mark O'Donoghue, that he got dropped back and then got jumped by a few more of them. But he's got really good pace. I wonder can we see him out in this car again, maybe, because he's going a lot better in that car than he did in his own. He's got huge pace. He's still squabbling back there with Jason O'Connell. They've got Kelsey Kirby for company. She's pulled away now from Andy Kavanagh and Darren Lawler. Then it's Sam Doyle leading the rookies from Mark Daly. Danny Mullins 3rd in rookies still. 1 minute 59 to go in this one. That's Sam Doyle with the headlights on. The rookie in the black car. Gonzaga going well out of shot as well. And Lenihan, Mark Daly. I think Danny Mullins might have lost a few spaces on that lap, you know. Let's have a look. I think there's another rookie in front of him. That's Sam Doyle with the headlights on. It's our rookie. There's Keith Lenihan, that beautifully prepared car we spoke about earlier. Mark Daly is a rookie. He goes through 2nd place in the rookies. And it's Mick McCardle and Phil Lawless. They're definitely not rookies, but I think the next car might be. Is that Adam O'Mahony? No. No, Danny Mullins. Oh, Jordan Flanagan just ahead of Danny Mullins and Adam O'Mahony. Then Alex McCann, Michael Moynihan and Liv Corcoran. That's Michael Moynihan going through there. Just his 2nd race. Another one of the rookies, 6th place in the rookies. A minute to go on the clock, so this will probably be our final lap. And Maguire with a renewed attack. I think he's closer to Kellett than he was. Now, if he could get by Kellett, easy for me to say, if he could get by Kellett on the final lap, it would get him even closer to McGovern, because McGovern's back in 4th place, and it is squeaky bum time for these guys. It's championship deciding time. One more race meeting after this with 2 races. It's been a long season, very competitive season in this class, and they all need to start driving for points now. Let's not forget that William Kellett's right in the mix for that championship as well. This will be his first win, I think. He's had loads of podiums all year. Very quick, very consistent, very clever. And no mistakes. Barable looking racy too as he comes up to them. He's certainly catching them both. The Nankang tyres will be past their best now at this stage of the race. So yeah, this will be the final lap. 22 seconds to go. McCardle now side by side with Phil Lawless. That's the attic conversion car. Hoping to convert it into a good result there today. That's my worst pun of the day so far. We'll get that out of the way. Phil Lawless having to go down the inside. Lawless, a former champion in this class, a former winner, but struggling with this car. He's got the engine and box built and just not showing the pace he'd like. But Phil Lawless usually has 3 or 4 cars in the paddock, always 1 or 2 for sale. He's selling a coupe, a Civic Coupe for Future Classic. Checkered flag is being prepared. Here we come. William Kellett looks like he's going to take it. He'll be happy with this one. He's waving already, flashing the headlights, banging the windscreen. There'll be great sound effects from this one. Oh, he could get it bothered for that one. Fire, he nearly came across the line backwards. To say William Kellett was happy, would that be a little bit of an understatement? Why wouldn't you be? He's going to get a massive trophy for this one. He takes massive chunk of championship points. Dave Maguire, got to be said, great drive by Maguire to get a 2nd place and Barable to 3rd. McGovern keeps the championship lead, I would imagine. Next up, let's see what happens. I think... yes, Sam Doyle takes the rookie win. Well done to him. Mark Daly, 2nd rookie. Who's going to be 3rd rookie? It's a race to the line. Adam O'Mahony and Danny Mullins. Let's see. Danny Mullins, rookie P3, gets a double podium. He'll be happy with that. Neil Murphy will be delighted with that. Gets Danny Mullins on his podium for 2 times today. It's not like favoritism, but it's great to have somebody come into a class and be able to get a podium like that on their first ever day out. So a lot of stars in that one. Certainly great stuff from Danny Mullins. Kelsey Kirby, she's going to be so happy with 8th place. She loves a top 10 finish, and she is moving towards that 6th place finish she spoke about earlier. But William Kellett, a great drive out front. There was massive pressure on him, and he didn't make any mistakes or lock wheels or go wide. So great stuff from William Kellett to take the win. Dave Maguire in 2nd and Peter Barable in 3rd place. So there we go. There's the rookies. Sam Doyle, Mark Daly and Danny Mullins. Danny Mullins in the wars a little bit in that one, wasn't he? But he fought back well. Great to see it. Absolutely fantastic. So Formula V's are coming out now to do their Leinster Trophy presentation. And meanwhile, the Alloy Repair Centre Fiesta STs have already been released down into the pit lane. So here we are, Alloy Repair Centre, Fiesta STs getting ready to go. Big hello to Owen Cullen, who owns the Alloy Repair Centre. He couldn't come down because he's so busy. He had to work today. No, wait a minute. No, he didn't. He's in, I don't know where he is, Montenegro or somewhere. He sent us some photos that would make us very jealous earlier on, having a beer and watching the live stream. So great to see that we're being broadcast all around the world here. But the Alloy Repair Centre, a great business in just off the Bellegarde Road there in Cookstown Industrial Estate. And they've sponsored this class this year, and as we said earlier, Owen has bought a car, and I did see a couple of sneak previews, and it looks absolutely fantastic. So hopefully we'll see that one out there. He also sponsors that car there of erstwhile series leader Ross Barnes. So Tim McQuaid starts this on pole position, Darragh McMullen alongside, then Derek Graham, who went so well early on, Victor Cullen, who soaked up all the pressure, and then the two stars of the day so far, John Elliff in 5th place and Roy White in 6th. After that, it's Brendan Fitzgerald and Trevor Farrar, Christopher Grimes Jr., a winner also this year, Ross Barnes, championship leader, Jack Conaghy, Charlie McKillen, Gordon Kellett, Chris Jones, Bobby Turley, Marcus Hayes, Christopher Grimes Sr. and Michael Cullen with a new gearbox installed by his LOH Motorsport team. That's what happened. He was up there fighting for 2nd and 3rd place and the gearbox let go coming out of turn 1. So they've installed a new gearbox and he's back out there weaving around trying to get a little bit of heat into those Nankang tyres. So championship points in this one. Let's have a look. Updated after race 1, so fair play. Beautiful view there for Ross Barnes. So Ross Barnes leading at 111 points from Victor Cullen on 101, Michael Cullen on 100, Roy White on 95, Tim McQuaid on 81, Brendan Fitzgerald 76, Keane O'Brien 74, Christopher Grimes 67, Darragh McMullen 65 and John Elliff 60 points. So up to Southside Motor Factors on the warm-up lap come the Fiesta STs, the Alloy Repair Centre sponsored championship, specialist alloy wheel refurbishment, and Tim McQuaid's on pole position, but Tim McQuaid's a former winner already. He had a wet win early on, I think round 4 perhaps, so he's been very, very quick. Motor Trader, Dublin Motor Trader. He's former rally co-driver, but certainly wouldn't have much experience going around in circles racing. They go, Fiesta STs, and McMullen tries to get across and almost makes contact with McQuaid as they head down towards turn 1. They're very, very close, but actually they're just closing the door to make sure nobody else comes through. Victor Cullen has to go down the outside. McMullen late in the brakes, turns across the bows of McQuaid, who doesn't back out of it. A little bit of opposite lock. They come apart and they should be okay for turn 2. No, McMullen's on the inside again now at Campion corner. McQuaid tries to sit around the outside, giving each other room just about, and McMullen leads now on the way down towards turn 3. It's McMullen from Tim McQuaid. Let's see how far up Michael Cullen can get as they head out into the distance. Not far is the answer. He's still at the back of the field. I wonder, is there an issue? You'd expect Michael to make up places straight away, but McMullen leading this one from Tim McQuaid, from Derek Graham, from Victor Cullen. And then it looks like John Elliff. Somebody having a look down the inside there. Oh, they're all getting very tight. I think that's Brendan Fitzgerald. Indeed it is. And Ross Barnes trying to get alongside Fitzgerald on the run up the hill now. The two cars side by side there. Barnes on the left. In fact, somebody getting a run at Fitzgerald up the right-hand side. It looks like, I think that's Christopher Grimes Jr. Indeed it is, having a go. Barnes gets around the outside of Fitzgerald, I think. They're still side by side, though, as they come back into view. So it is McMullen leading this one out front. McQuaid in second, closing down. McMullen on the brakes, second gear through here briefly. And Derek Graham, you can see the jerk as he grabs third gear. Good run through there from him, and he gets right up onto McQuaid's tail. He was very quick in race 1, Derek Graham. This is his first ever Fiesta ST race in a home-built car, remember, himself and his dad Aubrey. No sponsors on the side of the car, so if you fancy sponsoring a car, he could be the man to talk to. Oh, he gets A little bit wide on the exit there, and Victor Cullen looking to launch it down the inside, but Derek Graham sees that coming. Now he gets up the inside of McQuaid, I should say, and they're side by side heading back towards us. He's only just about there, though. I think he'll be a gentleman. He is. Just lifts off slightly. And as they're all having a go now, and Victor Cullen slices down the inside. I think he's going to take third place there away from Derek Graham. Scrubs off a lot of speed on the inside, though, with too much lock. Graham sits around the outside and just takes it back. Elif now next on the list. He's moving forward. He's got Barnes and Fitzgerald on his tail, and that's Michael Cullen next up, is it? It is. 9th place, Michael Cullen. Off into the gravel, John Elif. That's such a shame. He went really well in race 1. He came 2nd place. I'm not sure if he got a little bit of help there, but just slid off into the gravel on the outside. Rejoins, but he's right at the back, and when he went by here, he was in 5th place. So that is a shame. That's put Cullen up another one, though, Michael Cullen. So I thought Michael hadn't made any inroads in the first 2 corners, but he's made up for it there. That's 1 lap completed, and from 18 cars, Michael Cullen crossed the line in 9th. Here they come back towards us again. It's McMullen, it's McQuaid, it's Graham, Victor Cullen, Ross Barnes, Brendan Fitzgerald, Christopher Grimes Jr. going nicely, then Michael Cullen, Trevor Farrar, Gordon Kellett, Marcus Hayes, and somebody else Charlie McKillen going very wide there. Well, look at Elif. He's already caught up on Christopher Grimes Sr. looking to get back up there. He's got plenty of pace, so he should come up a few places in this one. So Barnes is the man, really needs to get back up there. That those championship positions we had a look at apparently are dropped, including dropped scores, so it's not really representative of how it looks, but it is how it'll end. They'll drop scores at the end of the next race meeting. So in over that inside curve, number 1, Michael Cullen, with a whole lot of work to do here. No points from the first race. He's already had his drop points, so it's dropped him well back at the championship, so all he can do is get as many points as he can in this one. McQuaid settling down now. The gap was 1.3 seconds to McMullen. I don't think it's that much anymore. No, it's certainly not. He's definitely closer here. So McMullen and McQuaid from Derek Graham. Then Victor and Ross Barnes all over the back of Victor Cullen now. Victor sees him coming and stays defensive on the run up to south side. Oh, last minute down the inside just as we change shot. I'm not sure if there was contact there, but somehow Fitzgerald's got up the inside perhaps of Barnes, not quite. Christopher Grimes Jr. trying to get in there as well. So Victor under pressure here, but actually Barnes under pressure behind him, so maybe he can get the head down. That's a change for 2nd place. Derek Graham takes that place away and moves up to 2nd place. Now let's see if Derek Graham can close down Darragh McMullen out front. Victor Cullen with a little bit of a queue behind him. Grimes Jr. going nicely here. We haven't seen this form from before. He did have a great win earlier on in the year, but he's got phenomenal car control. He's around the outside of Fitzgerald, no problem. Around the outside of Barnes. He's not going to do all 3 of them around the outside, is he? He's certainly done 2. If we don't see dust, we might see white smoke. Let's see what happened in the background. He's on the right-hand side. No, he's back there. They've got him back on the second right-hander. Fitzgerald hasn't, though. So he's managed to get around the outside of Fitzgerald. He's down the inside now as they come into Bridgestone corner. But Fitzgerald now decides to sit around the outside, and Michael Cullen wants a piece of this as well. Cullen right round the outside onto the back of Fitzgerald, who swerves across in front of Michael Cullen there. He's suddenly seen the beacon car. Where did that come from? So this is Victor now, Barnes, Fitzgerald, Michael Cullen, then Grimes Jr., then Trevor Farrar. Fastest lap is to Derek Graham, who's in 3rd, showing in 3rd, but he's actually in 2nd place now. There we go, fastest lap 205.016, 205.7 for McMullen, so he's a lot quicker than the leader, 7/10. Victor over that inside curve. Ross Barnes really trying hard to get by Victor. Victor is his championship rival now, really, with Michael having got a non-finish this morning. Doesn't get down the inside there. Big test for Victor. Big pressure through Bahrain's bends. The left, the right, and then the left. Door open there. Barnes throws it down the inside. It was wide open, wasn't it? Victor closes it, but a little bit late perhaps. And Barnes is through and Fitzgerald's through. Michael Cullen next on the list. He would have seen all that happening. And he's going to have a go at Victor now as they go through Nordic Spirit corner. Victor goes to the inside to go defensive. Michael to the outside. That'll allow Grimes up the inside. Michael's real late on the brakes and level with Victor round the outside now as they come out onto the main straight. Going to be a little bit of a drag race with Grimes between them there, side by side, mirror to mirror. Victor on the left, Michael on the right. The 2 Beacon Hospital cars now. LOH Motorsport running them side by side. This is for championship honours as much as anything else, but it's all working to Ross Barnes' advantage. Grimes now up the inside. Michael slowing again. Looks like the gearbox has gone in the exact same place again. Is that Michael or Victor that's slowed? It's Michael, I think. Looks like it. One of those beacon cars has slowed down. There's Michael Cullen going really slowly at the top of the screen. That's such a shame. Oh, he's pulling to the infield. That's his day gone. So 2 non-finishes, very unusual for LOH Motorsport and very unusual for Michael Cullen. So it's not completely, but at the head of the sheets will be Victor and Ross Barnes now, and it's advantage Barnes very much in this one. So he's done a good job here. There's Michael out of the car. Thumbs up to the marshals. He's always very matter of fact when things go wrong. I suppose he understands motor racing, but that's tough to take. 2 non-finishes. So Barnes, Fitzgerald, and Victor Cullen now in that group. There's Conaghy just ahead of Trevor Farrar. Derek Graham has closed the gap to 0.6 of a second up front. So that's Barnes. You know, it has gone close up front. Here's Derek Graham on a charge. The red car, great stuff in that lap. He's put in a really quick lap, and the gap absolutely nothing. And now going defensive for the first time is McMullen in the Newtone car. High and wide is Derek Graham. Smoother run of the way. It goes to the inside, makes McMullen defend. He's very calm and collected. That'll all wear McMullen's tyres out, making him take more lock on the exit of a corner. Derek Graham will know exactly what he's doing, but Darren McMullen's very experienced as well, and he's won ST races before, so this will be a good battle between these 2 guys. A lot of that looked like a lot of understeer, didn't it, for McMullen's car? Maybe just me. We are how many laps in? Or 4 laps the international circuit in, the equivalent of 8 of the national circuit, so the tyres will be beginning to do that. But McMullen's got plenty of racecraft. He knows his way around Mondello Park. He certainly won't hand it away. But climbing all over him now is Derek Graham. Would love a win on his ST debut. As he comes back towards, he's definitely getting a better run on the way out of corners, better traction, better front end grip, it looks like. Has a look down the inside. McMullen gets turned in, but he's showing him the nose everywhere. Tim McQuaid hoping to pick up the pieces, no doubt, if this goes wrong. With 3 minutes 42 still to go, plenty of time. Derek Graham goes wide again to get a good run. So these first 3 well ahead of anyone else. Ross Barnes is next up. Derek Graham, the only one in the 2:04 bracket, 4:7. McMullen's fastest lap of 5:3, so 0.6 of a second slower, but he's got track position and he's not making any mistakes. In fact, he's pulled a length or 2 now. 3 minutes exactly to go as they come up to the right-hander. Brains bends. Both inch perfect through the left-hander. No gap left there for McMullen. Quite confident though, turns in late, gets to the apex. 3rd gear now heading towards Nordic Spirit corner, up over that inside curb. They're always very impressive. The photographers tend to hang around there to get the 2-wheeled photos. I think I think McQuaid is closer to them than he was, you know. Barnes in a distant 4th place, but that's all he needs championship wise really. Now the final corner once again. McMullen goes to the inside to defend. Graham stays to the outside. Yeah, McQuaid faster than both that time round. In fact, he's almost with them as they come down into Castrol corner. Swing out of that one then, and 3rd gear flat out through Campion corner. They got a warning in driver's briefing this morning about track limits through that corner. It's not something we usually talk about at Mondello Park, but apparently the ST drivers in particular had been using the right-hand wheel on the left-hand curb on the inside. They've just been ramping over the inside of that one. So they had a word with them about that. There's an observer there apparently for the rest of the day as they come back towards us. The order behind these 3 is Ross Barnes in 4th, Fitzgerald in 5th, Victor Cullen 6th, Christopher Grimes Jr. 7th, Jack Conaghy going well in 8th, Trevor Farrar in 9th, and Charlie McKillen. Charlie McKillen going very well in 10th place ahead of Gordon Kellett, Bobby Turley. Somebody in the pits, Marcus Hayes, has just come into the pits out of shot. So 1 minute 32 to go. They'll probably get another lap after this one. Victor Cullen under a little bit of pressure there for that 6th place from Grimes Jr. and Conaghy. In fact, first three beginning a little bit more spread out than they were. So it's McMullen, Graham and McQuaid with nothing happening there. Down into 7A and B. McQuaid had closed them right down last time round. He's still not too far away, but I think Graham with a late race spurt again. Maybe he was giving his tyres a chance to cool down. But actually the car bouncing around on him just a little bit. Right over that curb. He's back within striking distance though, isn't he? There's going to be another full lap to run in this one, so it's not over yet. McQuaid going wide, costing himself a lot of time there just as he went out of shot. It's a two-horse race now, perhaps, with a lap to run. McMullen up over the inside curb. He's driven a good race here. Goes defensive, down the outside goes Derek Graham. Should be quicker on the exit as a result. There definitely is a little bit of understeer in McMullen's car. He's controlling it nicely. He's right out to the outside. A quick glance in the mirror, then across to the inside. He's not going to leave any gaps for Derek Graham, but Graham is right on his bumper now with 1 lap to go. 17 seconds on the clock, so this is it. This is for the O'Reilly Trophy, another famous trophy, huge history. Darren McMullen looking good to get his name on it, but Derek Graham would love to see his name on it as well. Through turn 2, Campion corner, named after John Campion, down to turn 3. Down into the main arena. Mullen gets the turns in, get to the apex, no problem. It's going to take a big mistake, I think, for anything to change here, and I don't think that's going to happen because McMullen has looked very composed since he took the lead of this one early on. On the brakes, up into Lola corner. Derek Graham very impressive on his first outing in this car, home-built car. Just came down and did a bit of testing Friday, put his race numbers on, and away he went. He's been very impressive in both races. Big points haul for him this weekend, although it won't be relevant because it's his first race, even though we're near the end of the season. Fastest lap for him in this one too, up over that inside curb. And again, McQuaid coming back at them on this, the final tour. These first three well clear of anybody else. 5.5 seconds back to Ross Barnes. Bahrain's Benz for the last time, through the right, through the left. Newton car leads, Derek Graham in second place, Tim McQuaid in third place. We've had many different winners this season in STs. This will be another one. McQuaid, a winner early on in the season. Up over that inside curb, 2 wheels there for the Newton car in the final time. Up to the braking area, just centre of the road, no gaps there in case anyone decides to be a hero, but McMullen I think has done enough. Here he comes out of the final corner, second gear, third gear. He will be delighted with this one. Great drive, and he comes down to take the checkered flag. Fist in the air, it's a big win, and he gets that trophy as well, so he'll be on the podium here very shortly. McMullen takes it, Derek Graham in second, Tim McQuaid third. Good drive by Ross Barnes and a heap of championship points. Fitzgerald next up, Victor Cullen, Trevor Farrar. And it's who's it? Charlie McKillen. Good stuff from him, ahead of Kellett and ahead of Bobby Turley. Then it's Jack Conaghy. Is it? No, it's not. It's Roy White, John Elliff. Good recovery, and Jack Conaghy. Then Chris Jones. Then Christopher Grimes Sr. And then slowly coming down is Grimes Jr. Unfortunately, he was right in the mix. He just comes slowly across the line there. So great stuff from Fiesta STs. Next up is going to be Junior Minis. Patch Tire Equipment Junior Minis back on track again. There's your result. McMullen, Derek Graham and Tim McQuaid. Then Ross Barnes, Brendan Fitzgerald, Victor Cullen, Trevor Farrar, Charlie McKillen, Gordon Kellett and Bobby Turley. their way towards their podium. The Patch Tire Equipment Junior Minis are already out on track, weaving their cars around to get some heat in the tires and getting ready for their second run of the day. Great entertainment earlier, and Jack Files took the win on the big trophy, of course, and he'll start this one from pole position with Leo Richardson, who gave him such a great scrap. Next up then Holly Dunyan, TJ Taff, Leah McManus, Ailey Sexton, Dean Deasy, Harry Dowling, Jaden McBrearty, Joshua Henry, Luca Mullins, Logan Hoy, Dahi Kennedy, and Kyle Irvine and Martin Finnegan. Cars all beautifully presented. We've had some fantastic drivers in this championship this year. Not over just yet, but we're expecting more entertainment there. Some of the drivers flinging the cars around, trying to get a bit of heat into the back tires, the same way we saw with the Say Super Cups. So there we go, young Jack Files, fourth generation of the Files family, just fresh from a win and starting on pole position again. Leo Richardson, third generation, and I did see Ernie here. Ernie's at every race meeting, and raced 205s back in the day as well, great competitor. So his granddad will be there. Proud day to see your grandson on the grid doing so well, isn't it? And then it's Holly Dunyan, another third generation racer, and they're both here as well, her dad and her granddad. TJ Taff, Leah McManus, Ailey Sexton, Dean Deasy, Harry Dowling, all the rest. And away they go. Good start from Files. Good start from Leah McManus. And Henry boxed in a little bit with Logan Hoy down towards the back, but Files leads this one now on the way down towards turn one. It's Files. It's Richardson. It's Taff. Then it's Holly Dunyan. Then it's Leah McManus. So the ladies going nicely. They're in fourth and fifth place here as they go through Campion Corner. Files going nicely. Holly Dunyan will be looking to get up to this lead pack now and stay with them. She is a really feisty racer, great in traffic. Somebody down the inside of Leah McManus there at the first bit of turn three. I think that's McBrearty. So they go out of our view. Great stuff. They look absolutely fantastic on track, and it is Files from Richardson as they come back towards us. Hard to differentiate them with the sunshine. Not something we thought we'd be battling with this morning, but it is. It's TJ Taff in the Mondello Scholarship car. And TJ Taff didn't have a brilliant start to the season. The last 2 or 3 meetings he's been incredible. And the instructors did say to me the day that he won the scholarship that he was very special, very impressive stuff. They were really impressed with his on-track driving when he won the scholarship. And he's got a good name for himself in karting, has Taff, and he's going very well here in third place. Then it's Holly Dunyan. Then it's McBrearty, and then it's Henry, and then it's possibly Hoy up another place. I think it is. They've come from the back, Henry and Hoy, championship contenders. In fact, Files will bring himself into contention here as well with a win earlier and leading this one. That's exactly who it is. It is Hoy. And it's Leah McManus, I think, still going well. Leah was telling us recently she'd love a top 10 finish. Well, she's certainly looking on track for one here. But it's very competitive. Look at all these cars streaming back up. We're heading for 20 cars, as we said. Files a little bit defensive there because Richardson was close to him. They both know each other. They've had a good, hard race early on, and they know there's moves going to happen here. If Files can't get away, Richardson will definitely go at him. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars together. 8 cars, because Hoy isn't too far away there either. The red car at the back. He's a real danger man. Junior Rallycross champion, has done most of the winning in this class. Well, between himself and Henry. In fact, they're both at the end of this trail too, very much two danger men. Files looks composed. And Richardson right with him. Then Taff, Dunyan, McBrearty, Henry and Hoy. Some problem for Leah McManus. She's down a couple of places, down 6 places in that lap. She was on the back of that group. She was 8th halfway around the lap, but something must have gone wrong 11th as she went across the line. So Alex Sexton and Dean Deasy still having the battle they had earlier on today as they head out into the sunshine at turn 3. 10 minutes 15 seconds still on the clock. Little bit of a gap for the first 2 now, as we saw in race 1, as Files begins to ease away but brings Leo Richardson with him. Richardson right on the back bumper of Files now. Taff holding off McBrearty, Henry. McBrearty, Dunyan and Henry. So McBrearty's got ahead of Dunyan perhaps. It's hard to differentiate them when they're heading out the road that way. They just all go into a dark colour when they're going away into the sun, but I will try and get them. Here we are. Better idea here. That is Brearty ahead of, it is in fact, he's ahead of Holly Dunyan, as is Henry. So Holly Dunyan's back 2 places. Joshua Henry got up there too. And look at McBrearty having a look down the inside of Taff. All right onto the back bumper. It's Taff, it's bumper to bumper, and Henry's in the mix now as well. Holly Dunyan not too far away, and Logan Hoy right there too. So this is where the action is in this one. They're all just behind the leaders. It's far from over. 9 minutes to go. 9 minutes 15. Files right over that inside curb. Richardson with him. Then Taff. Jaden McBrearty. Joshua Henry. The 2 Donegal cars. Oh, Henry down the inside. McBrearty went in a bit too quick. You could see him checking it there with the brake lights, trying to get back into the apex, but Henry backed out of it. It'll all be costing them time though, and they'll be fully aware of that. There they go through Nordic Spirit corner. Files defending heavily for the first time. Richardson goes up the outside. Will he look for a switchback, or will he try to drive around the outside? He gets a switchback on Files. Classic Mondello manoeuvre, and he's ahead now. It's a change for the lead as they come out onto the main straight. Richardson on the inside, Files on the outside. Files' car looked a little bit quicker early on. It doesn't look it now, so it's all to do with corner exit, I think. Although he does get back with the headlights just in front, but nothing he can do. He's just going to have to slot in behind Richardson and try and do it all again. And Taff, McBrearty, Henry, Hoy and Dunyan. Files looking to get up alongside Richardson now on the run down to turn 3. Richardson on the inside, Files on the outside. Files looking like he wants to go right round the outside. They're side by side through the first apex. Brave stuff by Files on the outside. Didn't lick that one off the stones. Doesn't quite get it done. Richardson just holds him back. It's good racing, isn't it? As they come back towards us, these juniors really impressing us. Henry still trying to get by McBrearty there. So Taff under a little bit of pressure here as the first 2 ease away just a small bit. Then it's Hoy who's got by Dunyan, so Holly Dunyan's dropped back just a little bit. I don't know if she's done her front tyres in or not, but she was up in 3rd place early on. And it's Irvine coming through, then Kennedy, Mullins, then Leah McManus. Henry's got the job done on McBrearty at Lola corner. Waved yellows for some reason, don't know why that is, but he had the job done well before that. Somebody down the inside with a big lunge. Is that Hoy? I think it is. It is Logan Hoy down the inside of McBrearty. Holly Dunyan looking for a way through as well. May have been yellows there, I'm not sure. That's the Midlands 103 car of Ailey Sexton. Stopped halfway down the back straight. But using her head there, pulling into that little karting chicane just to keep it out of the way. So it's Files, Richardson and Taff up front. It's Richardson, Files, I should say. Then Taff. Then Henry. Then Hoy. All the way from the back. Fastest lap is Logan Hoy, 27.799. It's a half a second quicker than the race leader. So Henry and Hoy, the danger man. We said that at the start. They come from well back. So Taff going nicely. TJ Taff in 3rd place. Henry right on his tail. Then Hoy. Then McBrearty. Then Holly Dunyan. And a little bit of a gap back behind that to Kyle Irvine, Dahi Kennedy, Luca Mullins. And Leah McManus and Martin Finnegan. Richardson with the head down. You can see by the body language of the car he's trying hard right out to the exit curb. Good exit there, gets him a little bit more of a gap. It was half a second at the line, it's slightly more now, but they're both still easing away from everybody else. 5 minutes 40 to go on this one. POB Racing will be cheering on their man from down below as they come through the S's for Bridgestone and up the hill. It's Logan Hoy moving around there a little bit, looking very racy. He's come all the way from the back and he wants a bit more. I think that's his championship rival in front of him, Joshua Henry. So Taff and Henry. Henry gets a great run through there. Taff has to go defensive. Or does he go defensive? There are waved yellows. You can see it right beside the car that time round. So go through 7A and 7B. Third gear up the hill towards Bahrain's Benz. First two still pulling away, and in fact Richardson beginning to just open that gap now. Nothing Files can do about it at this stage. 5 minutes to go. Taff in third, then Henry, then Logan Hoy. They've already changed the engine, and Logan's car engine let go, and it's a borrowed engine. They don't even know what it's like. They were saying to me earlier, obviously nothing wrong with it, but he's certainly driving as well as he always does. Dundalk man going really well. Bit of a star in junior rallycross, and has transferred well to the circuits. You can see how much speed Leo Richardson is carrying through there. The battle is for the final step of the podium, and it's got championship ramifications there. Taff looking in his mirror, but Henry's got to do both. He's got to attack and defend at the same time, because here comes Hoy. Really is at him on the main straight. Down the inside with a big lunge goes Henry, takes the place away from Taff. Hoy goes with him, but Taff sits around the outside. Taff and the Mondello Park car should have it back at Campion corner. Indeed he does. So it's Henry who makes up the place there. Cracking move. Taff down to third place. Hoy in fourth still. Here they come back down towards us again. So the scrapping has dropped them back definitely from the first two. New fastest lap there to Leo Richardson, 207.241, half a second quicker than Files, and puts that gap out to 1.044 seconds. There's the fastest lap notification, 207.241. So great stuff. Purple fastest lap for Leo Richardson, looking good out front. 3 minutes 15 to go. Joshua Henry's come all the way from the 5th row of the grid, and Hoy from the 6th, so they've done well, these two. Taff started on row 2. He's putting up a good fight here. Hoy with a great exit there. Gets himself right up to Taff again as they come up the hill, but not quite close enough to have a lunge. Through Bahrain's Benz. All together. Oh, very wide for Henry there. Just overcommitted a little bit. He's trying so hard. Gathers it up though. It doesn't cost him too much time. Should have been all over him, I would have thought, on the exit, but they're just on the door handles, these young kids, aren't they? Really pushing hard. Henry trying to get away from this group, and a forlorn effort in the closing stages to try and get up to Files and Richardson. They're still equidistant coming up the hill. This crowd, considering these guys have been scrapping so much, they haven't lost that much time. So just a minute and 13 to go. This is Paul O'Brien is WhatsApping me, asking me what the lap record is for minis. Paul, Google it there. I'm busy commentating at the moment, if you don't mind. Paul O'Brien has got his driver Leo Richardson leading this one, so they'll all be on edge down there. But their fastest lap is 207.241. It'll be on timing.ie, and if it's broken, Paul Grogan will have it up on the bottom of the screen before the end of the race. He's usually right on top of stuff like that. Logan Hoy having a go down the inside. It's Taff, and there's contact, and Taff sent off on the outside. Gathers it all back up. Well, that's a questionable one, but there was a gap down the inside. It's always hard at 7B, isn't it? I'm sure they'll be having a look at that one later on. Certainly There was a gap down the inside initially after that. It's your guess is as good as mine, but certainly Taff has dropped back, and Hoy is up a place there to 4th, which will minimise the damage done by Henry getting by. 21 seconds to go, but I think the leaders will get to the line before the clock gets to 0, so we should have another lap. Be interested to see what kind of a lap time Henry can do on his own with no traffic in front. Similarly with Hoy, they've had traffic all the way through this one. Well, there's my answer straight away. Fastest lap, Joshua Henry, 2:07.201. 2:07.7 for Hoy, 7:2 for Richardson was the fastest lap, but only an 8:3 for Richardson that time round. So Henry with fastest lap, charging up to Richardson and Files on this, the final lap. The counter is already at 0. There's Taff holding off McBrearty through Campion Corner. Leah McManus going by the start finish line up another place. She's ahead of Finnegan. Good battle there between Finnegan, DC and Harry Dowling there. She's heading that one up 11th place. She's mad keen for a top 10. She might get that 11th if she hangs on there. And Henry has caught second place man. The battle's now on for second place, definitely. But whatever's happened, we missed it there, but Files now leads from Richardson, and Henry is right with him. So new class lap record, it says Richardson, but that's been broken again, I'd imagine now, by Joshua Henry. So it was Leo Richardson with a 2:07.241, but a 2:07.201 trumps that for Joshua Henry on that final lap. But this is the last lap, and Richardson's got back ahead again, so they're really having a go here. Sorry, it's Files, it's Richardson, and it's Henry is the order now, and this is the final lap, and they're not as far apart as they were. So we're trying to see if we've got a replay of that one. I'm not sure what happened, apologies, but it is Files from Richardson from Henry, and just one corner to go. Files going to do the double. It looks like his dad took a win yesterday, and he's going to take 2 today. Jack Files 2.0 as we come on. Henry down the inside with a big lunge. Last corner, Richardson goes wide to try and come back at him, and he does come back at him. Great stuff from Leo Richardson using the head. Drag race to the line. Oh, Henry leaning in a little bit hard on him on the run to the line. Nothing in it. And let's see who gets it. Leo Richardson. No, Henry gets it. No, Leo Richardson gets it by 9,000ths of a second. Files, Richardson, Henry and Hoy. Great stuff from the Patch Tire Equipment Junior Minis. Probably race of the day there, and no shortage of action. So they're still coming down. Jaden McBrearty as well. Great stuff. There's a load of them coming into the pits without taking the checkered flag for some reason. I'm not sure why they would do that. Well, unless they get right up to the end, they're going to cost themselves a load of places, because Leah McManus isn't going to come into the pits. She's going to come down and make herself up 3 places at least. But Irvine, Dahi Kennedy and Mullins came into the pits instead of taking the checkered flag. So that puts Leah McManus up to 8th place. She gets the top 10 finish she wanted. She's ahead of Martin Finnegan, Harry Dowling and Dean Deasy. Well, that's a great race from those guys as well. 8th, 9th, 10th and 11th. And they'll be shown as non-finishers. If I was Irvine's pit crew, I'd be telling them to get out the pit lane and finish the lap. For some reason, they've come into the pits. I don't understand why that is. But they certainly have cost themselves a finish. They probably have the option now to drive out of the pit lane and get 12th, 13th, 14th place back, but that's not what they're doing at the moment. There's a little bit of confusion in the pit lane. They're back into Park Ferme already, but Jack Files takes that win from Joshua Henry and Leo Richardson. New class lap record, Joshua Henry 2:07.201. So great stuff from Junior Minis. They really are giving us some great racing, aren't they? Good hard racing up front, and Files does the double. Yeah, they're coming back out of the pit lane now, so they've been told what to do, but what a mistake. I'm not sure what happened there. They've just been told to drive around. They should register as finishers if they drive back around. Let's see. We watch the timing here. Show them coming back out of the pits. It does. Kyle Irvine, he takes 12th place just by crossing the line. Luca Mullins makes up a place in the pit lane there, not by strategy. And Dahi Kennedy too, but that's dropped them well back. So that puts Leah McManus up to 8th place. Holly Dunyan 7th, Leah McManus 8th, Martin Finnegan 9th, Harry Dowling 10th, and Dean Deasy 11th. Then Kyle Irvine, Luca Mullins, and Dahi Kennedy. So fantastic stuff from the Junior Mini Challenge cars there. So they'll be having their podium down there with Roisin. I think Danny Mullins and Lee McKenzie are going to go to the podium for the minis as well, which is great. And we have got a memento from Mondello Park as well for each driver. So if all the drivers can make sure they're at the podium, there's a little prize for each of them. And Craig O'Reilly will be taking the photos, and Roisin Sweeney is down there. Brian Matthews might give them out for us. He's heading down there now. So Brian Matthews from Patch Tire Equipment was in the commentary box for that race. He seems happy enough with everything, and he's going to head down to the podium so the junior minis will be able to get their prizes. Already we're getting ready to go. Got to say well done to the people on the floor below me. It's been a stressy enough day for them. Loads of problems, power cuts and all sorts of problems there. But we're back to the second last race of the day, the second SEAT Supercup Ireland Championship and Irish Touring Car Championship race. So there's a great shot of the Fiesta ST podium. That's Lee McKenzie being kind enough to go up on the podium. Darren McMullen delighted to hold that O'Reilly trophy up. Great stuff, great drive from him. Derek Graham in second place. And Tim McQuaid in third place. All absolutely delighted with that. Craig O'Reilly getting the photos in. And Lee McKenzie staying around the corner in case they get a bit of bubbly. I think they're safe enough this time. They're coming back down off that. And the junior minis will be next up on the podium. That's the danger one, because they get fizzy drinks to spray, don't they, rather than champagne. So that's when it gets messy around there. I think Danny Mullins and Lee were both going to help out with the junior minis, which is great stuff. And Roisin Sweeney is down there doing the admin and getting the trophies ready. So very, very busy at the Mondello Park podium. Delighted to see that, because we it's a newish podium just for the events at Mondello Park for ICCR, and it's liveried really well. It's great to see the classes using it for years. They just used to get the trophies at the end of the race. But I've always maintained, if you win a race, it's very, very hard to win any race. I've always maintained if you win a race, you just stand above your peers, preferably spray them with some sort of a champagne or fizzy drink if you're a junior. Winning is not easy, and it should be applauded, especially at Mondello Park. We don't have any easy wins, as you've seen this weekend. Speaking of which, we're back on track with the SEAT Super Cups and Irish Touring Cars. Paul Parr will take pole position for this one with Stephen Maher alongside. Then Max Turley, Rod McGovern, a danger man, starting on row 2. Paul O'Brien was very quick in race 1. In the DOB Sports Cars car, then Brian Berry, Stephen Wright, Dave Maguire, Gary Corcoran, Mark Turley, Eddie Peterson, Barry English and Adrian McNally. Here's championship points. Top scores still to come in, of course, but that'll be calculated after the last round. So Max Turley with 151, Eddie Peterson 145, Stephen Wright up 1 to 128, Dave Maguire down 1 to 126. Then Paul Parr, Paul O'Brien, Barry English, Adrian McNally, Brian Berry, and Rob McGovern rounding out the top 10. That's the Mark Turley car. Mark making a comeback, massively successful driver over the years at Mondello Park, and always great to watch. Hasn't been down in a while and did a last minute deal to race this SEAT Super Cup. So the Marty Motorsport guys trying to sort the problem out here. As the rest of the grid come down to the starting grid. So we've done the C8 grid. Let's have a look at the Irish Touring Car grid. Stuart Curran on pole position. Cian Walsh alongside him. Looks like Mark 30 will make it. Starting from the pit lane now. It's then Stephen Traub and Owen Drought. Best buddies on row 2. David McMinn and Robert Doherty. On row 3, Oisin Clune and Ian Stryker. On row 4, David Flynn and Ryan Stryker. On row 5, Michael Clune and Aaron Ennis. Row 6, Stephen Martin and Colin Morris on row 7. Lined up a little bit odd, aren't they, on the front row? Somebody there, Parr, right on his marks, but Stephen Marr way back. Looks like a staggered start. Everybody else is pretty close to where they need to be, but certainly Parr taking full advantage of going right up to the front of his grid slot. But Stephen Marr with a little bit further back. Alongside him, they do have launch control, these cars, but they can be a little bit difficult to get off the line. So let's see who gets away first. Dunboyne Trophy going to the winner of the Zetecs. Just come up here. Just beautiful. Another beautiful bit of kit. Oh, Eddie Peterson, Brent Hughes, and who's the top one? Keith Campbell. Great stuff. Plenty of names of that. John Watson, Robert Ashcroft, John Crosley, Damien McGee, Mad Dog McGee, Henry Paul Eastwood, David Kennedy, Dan Daly, loads of them on that. I better commentate on the race. Fantastic. Cian Walsh makes the best getaway. Owen Drought goes with him though in the Golf on the outside. Oh, somebody off and into the bridge in the background. One of the Integras. A big one there, and I'm sure that's going to be a red flag. The car stranded in the middle of the track here right below us. Yeah, it is. Number 17. That's David Flynn in the Integra. Real quick driver. Just got tangled up with somebody going under the bridge. He's going to be able to drive it out of the way, I think, you know. Nothing structural maybe. Back bumper's gone, the front bumper's definitely damaged, but he's tried to straighten the car up. I think the rescue crews are telling him to stay where he is. Surely the red flags will be out. The red flags are out and the race has been stopped just what the officials will want at this time of the day. With one race to go. What time of the day is it? It's 26 minutes past 5. They've done a good job to keep everything running, but another delay is not what they laid. But it gives me more time to read the names on this lovely trophy. This is the trophy they're racing for. Christy Connolly, Stephen Fisk, that would have been Fiat's Austin Bishop, Alan Johnson. Look at that, Alan Johnson 4 times in a row, 5 times in a row. Then Alan Byrne twice, bigger text than anybody else. Must have been shouting when he wrote that one. Then Colin Ryan, Ken Elliott, Martin Tracy, Johnny Whelan twice, Eric Holstein, Dave O'Brien who's running a car here today, Shane Rabbit twice. Oh, Irish Touring Cars must have had at ITCC. Brilliant names on that one. Fantastic. Crawford Harkness. The Dunboyne Cup presented to the Leinster Motor Club. So these are so highly polished I find them hard to read. I can see myself in them all right. By the traders of Dunboyne and Clonee in 1959. That's fantastic. Great stuff. Thank you very much. So yeah, they're worth winning these trophies. It's great to get a little bit of history. For years they were just a name really, and I didn't really understand who had won them. Represented by Alan Johnson in 1993. So he won it 3 times and was allowed to keep it. He won it 4 times actually, but he presented it back. So well done, Alan Johnson. The king, as they used to call him in karting back in the day, pretty much unbeatable in Ritmos here for many years. So great stuff, great bit of history there. Let's have a look at this then. Replay for this shunt going under the bridge as they headed off. So it's the white Integra we're looking for. Second one, oh, he's already gone off. Isn't he heading off the grid? There he is, into the barrier and straight back out. Yeah, it was early on. He was way out of shape as they were heading off the grid. Well, I wouldn't say low speed because these are really powerful cars, all of them. But he bounced fairly well, bounced back out onto the track. It's all, he's out of the car and he's absolutely fine. It's just a matter of the rescue crew getting the car out of the way now. So track, oh, it's the barrier they're looking at. That's the problem now. The tire barrier is being dislodged and they have... you can see it there at the top of your screen on the left. They have a kind of conveyor belt that goes across those tyres. And the reason for that is that your car doesn't dig in. It slides along them. It's a proven way of doing it. And if you take that belt down, as it is now, your car can dig in and give you a big impact. Whereas it's to absorb energy, isn't it? To make the car slide along the tyre wall. That's why they have those belts. So they'll have to be put back up, I think, before they go racing again. So Fergus Brennan and a few others down there. Teleporter has arrived. That could be a few minutes before we get back racing. So even I can't make that sound exciting while the guys are doing their best. The rescue team are down there and they're going to have a look at that. So we'll go for another commercial break, some messages from our sponsors, as they say, while these guys are getting that wrapped. As soon as they get it wrapped back up and bolted in, we'll be ready to go racing again with the second last race of the day at the Beacon Hospital live stream for Infinite Energy ICCR at Mondello Park.
GSE.
The Blitz is more than just a logo to us. It represents who we are. It stands for the energy that flows into every single opal, and for our restless ambition to always go further, even if it means to break old patterns. By 2028, we will be fully electric. This is our focus, our energy, and we manifest it with a new, even more energetic Blitz. Like never before, it stands for who we are and where we go. Because it's much more than just a logo. It's our compass to head forward.
Opel, a proud sponsor of Irish rugby. Drive on.
The Blitz is more than just a logo to us. It represents who we are. It stands for the energy that flows into every single opal, and for our restless ambition to always go further, even if it means to break old patterns. By 2028, we will be fully electric. This is our focus, our energy, and we manifest it with a new, even more energetic Blitz. Like never before, it stands for who we are and where we go. Because it's much more than just a logo. It's our compass to head forward.
electric.
Welcome to Mondello Park, more than just a racetrack.
We have conferencing facilities for up to 200 people.
We can provide a wide range of fresh, locally produced food, from soup and sandwiches all the way up to a full 5-course meal.
Test your team to work together in a series of racing challenges against the clock in our state-of-the-art driving simulators.
Or if you want to try the real thing, jump behind the wheel of one of our many supercars.
Test your team with our wide variety of non-driving team building challenges. Or beat the clock in our exhilarating auto test challenge. Mondello Park, so much more than just a racetrack. Great job again by the officials and by the rescue crew and Mondello Park operations guys. We're able to go racing again. I was a little bit worried there when that when the rubber sheets came down off the tires, and we mightn't be able to go back racing. But they've done a great job, got it all up and running, and we're getting ready to go. Just this and one more race to go. This is going to be a 10-minute race with one warm-up lap. It's Supercup Ireland, and it's Paul Parr and Stephen Maher in the front row, and then behind them is Irish Touring Car, Stuart Curran and Cian Walsh on the front row. So we've done the grids already. We'll let them come around, get a bit of heat into their tires, come around, line up, and we will get going. So here we come, round to the grid for a second attempt. Say at Supercup Ireland. Paul Parr's beautifully turned out cars. Cars are always beautifully turned out. He was supercars a few years back before he came into Say It, and the cars were always superbly sign written and very clean, and it's no different with the Say It. Paul Parr and his team always produce a really well turned out car. So it comes down towards us. We are missing, are we missing Stephen Wright? Or Stephen Maher, I should say. He was on the grid last time around. I don't see him there now. Don't see it in Park Ferme, but it's not on the grid. So all on his ownio on the front row of the grid is Paul Parr. Row 2 will be Dave Maguire and Max Turley, who's got a clean run down to the first corner if he can launch well. Then it is Rod McGovern and Paul O'Brien, two of the quicker guys. Brian Berry, Stephen Wright as well. So this will be interesting. Mark Turley gets his grid position back, and away we go. Parr makes no mistakes. Paul O'Brien with a good start. He's looking for space down the outside. I think he's got it. It's going to be on the outside though when they get down there, but oh, he gets crowded out a little bit. But a great start from Parr, and he leads round turn 1. Right looking for a gap up the inside as everyone else gets pushed wide. Touring car is about to start now. Second start now. Away we go, great stuff. Watch Cian Walsh on the outside, all the cacophony, but it's Owen Drought who makes the best start by the look of it in the Golf, and he leads away. He got swamped by all the job cars last time, not so much this time. The Roscrea garage man leads under the M-Town bridge and down into turn 1. He was in the running for the championship. I think the non-finish in race 1 will have scuppered him just a little bit, but he's really the only man who's been able to mix it at the front this year. But Cian Walsh's pace from mid-season on has been so strong that nobody can stay with him. But Owen Drought will be hopeful to stay in front for a lap or two anyway. No shortage of straight line speed in the Golf, but he's struggled to get it sorted through the corners, and he's had a couple of braking issues as well that makes it hard to get stopped for the slower corners. But he's not a problem here now, and still leading it. But side by side coming up the hill, he's gone a little bit wide there. We've changed shot for some reason back to the Sayets, and down the inside goes Turley on McGovern. Big lock up for McGovern, who takes it back on the inside. So all the action, but no place change. Paul O'Brien getting a grandstand view of all that one. Still battling. McGovern just ahead of Turley now. O'Brien right with them, and Wright not too far behind either. Paul O'Brien looking for a gap down the inside. Doesn't get it on that occasion. Then it's Wright and Berry next up. But nobody touching Paul Parr. We can't see him in this shot, but he's leading coming down the main straight now. And leading well as he crosses the line. There he is, down into turn one. Nice shallow early turn in for him. It's a good first lap. Leads by 2.9 seconds from Dave Maguire at the end of lap one. Rod McGovern in third, then Max Turley, Paul O'Brien, Stephen Wright, Brian Berry, Barry English, Gary Corcoran, Eddie Peterson well back, watch out for him, and Adrian McNally. The Irish touring car is now being led by Cian Walsh. She goes across the line now. And Stuart Curran, David McMinn, Oisin Clooney and striker Rob Doherty. Don't know where Owen Drout's gone. He was leading that one when they went out of view. There he is. It's dropped way back. So he's back to 6th place, is it? Max Turley off on the outside there. Not sure if he got help or went off on his own, but he's recovered. No problem. A little bit of opposite lock. Gets the car settled. Drives back onto the track just ahead of Corcoran, it looks like. So that allows Paul O'Brien up to 4th place. So still Paul Parr out in front. He was 2.9 seconds to the good. I don't think Dave Maguire's got any closer on this lap. 6 minutes 42 to run. So it looks like Parr, Maguire, McGovern, O'Brien, Stephen Wright, Brian Berry, Barry English. Then it's either Corcoran or Turley. Look at that for a lead. Incredible stuff from Paul Parr. Unconventional line into the final corner, turning in quite early, we saw there, but it's obviously working for him. The same down into turn one. Both of those corners usually demand a late turn in, late apex, but that's not what he's doing. And he leads by 3.9 seconds. What do I know? It's working well. Paul Parr absolutely flying up front. Fastest lap, 49.938. He's a full second quicker than Dave Maguire. Next quickest, actually second quickest would be Paul O'Brien, but he is 7/10 off the fastest lap of Paul Parr. So Parr in a class of his own. He's parring away, if you excuse the pun. It's getting late. 5 minutes 40 seconds to go. Dave Maguire in second place, Rod McGovern in third place. Then Paul O'Brien, Stephen Wright, Brian Berry. Cian Walsh, you can probably hear the sound effects as he blasts by in the background, leading the touring cars. Fastest lap to the leader, so certainly pulling away 3.9 seconds. As we said, the gap last time they went round. I suppose the battle here is probably going to be Paul O'Brien. He seems to be able to ease up on Rod McGovern. He was quicker than Rod McGovern and indeed quicker than Dave Maguire last time round. Paul O'Brien, car run by his brother Dave O'Brien through his DOB Sports Cars business. They're a Porsche specialist just off the M50 at Ballymount, and prepare race cars and race cars as well. They're preparing a few of these Zetecs, I think. And Dave O'Brien will be delighted with this one. He'd be even more delighted if they could get a podium. But catching Rod McGovern is one thing. Getting past is quite another. Rod, massively experienced and a former champion in this class. Generally just does the odd race now for a little bit of fun. But Parr literally just driving away from everybody else. They're all on full 340 brake horsepower ECUs in race 2. Maybe I think you're allowed two new tires per weekend, so maybe he saved his for race 2. It doesn't matter what he did either way. It's massively impressive. He is fastest lap again, 49.6, and the gap out to 5.7 seconds after 3 laps. This is great stuff from Paul Parr. Really is. He's disappeared. Nothing Dave Maguire can do about it. Maguire doing well to hold McGovern at arm's length, and McGovern definitely about to come under attack from Paul O'Brien now. Paul O'Brien closes him up, has a look down the inside into the first bit of turn 3. McGovern has to cover that. That'll let Maguire will absolutely love seeing that in his mirrors, because that'll let him get away just a little bit. Just look at the Irish touring car times. Cian Walsh well out in front there. He's just done a 54.9, but behind him 56, 56. Yeah, nobody really going that quick. 55.2 for Owen Drought. So Owen Drought's suddenly done a quick lap, even though he's dropped way back. He's got ahead of Robert Doherty on that lap. 55.2 for him, so he's quicker than Clune, McMinn, Striker. In fact, he's quicker than everybody bar Cian Walsh on that lap. So I'm not sure Owen Walsh is. Don't know, his fluctuation, his form is fluctuating quite a lot. But unlike this man, Parr absolutely incredible as he powers down the straight now. Maguire in second place and beginning to come under a little bit of pressure, because despite the pressure from Paul O'Brien, Rob McGovern is closing down Dave Maguire. That will reflect now in the lap times. It does. 51.6, 51.7, 51.7, 51.5 for Stephen Wright as he begins to motor up to the back of this group to see what's happening. I might have a look down the inside here or down the outside there. So it's Parr, Maguire, McGovern, Paul O'Brien and Stephen Wright. Maguire's got away just a little bit on that occasion. There's the leader of the Irish touring cars, probably the champion-elect. Great stuff from Cian Walsh. He's got a Honda business and supplies a lot of parts and car tuning parts, and prepares that car himself, and it's always immaculate. He drives it really well. Great sound effects from it as he blasts down this main straight here at Mondello. That time he did a 53.669 for fastest lap in the ITCC. That's where the battle is now. O'Brien has been getting closer and closer to McGovern, but he's right under the back wing now as they go through Bahrain's bends and come back towards us. So just a minute to go, and this is going to be a crushing victory for Paul Parr. Really impressive stuff. He made no mistakes to get off the line. He had a good lead by halfway around the first lap. He's increased it every single lap, and he looks very composed. So this time McGovern goes defensive. That's a first. Paul O'Brien will love to see that. Tries to get the run at him on the way out, maybe get the nose up the inside. That's what he tries to do. I think he's done it, you know. Gets the nose up the inside. Oh, McGovern's car slightly quicker in a straight line, though. They were... Whoa, and O'Brien's probably the one that's failing there in a straight line slightly, because whatever happened, he got up the inside of McGovern there, and then McGovern just out-dragged him, and then Stephen Wright out-dragged him as well. So maybe, can you miss a gear in one of these? I assume you can. Something happened there to Paul O'Brien as he came out of the final corner. I thought he had the job done, the switch back on Rod McGovern. But Rod just powered by him, and then Stephen Wright just came up beside him as well. He did well to hold Stephen Wright back, in fact. It's not over just yet, though, is it? Because Paul O'Brien's still crowding McGovern. Thinks about the inside. It's enough to make McGovern defend. That's all he'll want. Back high and wide then again. Front tires surely be a little bit past their best at this stage. All looking to get to the inside. O'Brien with a better run through there. McGovern sees it coming, goes to the inside. Paul O'Brien up through the gears. He's on the outside. He's ahead, clearly ahead, but he's not going to be able to get around the outside there. McGovern smokes it up, sends them both wide. See you later, says Stephen Wright. I was watching Peter Barrable earlier, and I can do that too. He takes it back. Oh, Paul O'Brien catches McGovern there. Again, that's an odd one, isn't it? We might have a look back at that one. I'm not sure what happened. Was Rod McGovern going to try to get across to defend? I'm not so sure. So that puts, incredibly, that puts Stephen Wright up 2 places. It puts... Right, Rob McGovern well back. Let's have another look at that one. It's a little bit confusing because we were looking at what happened in the corner, but it happened on the exit. There's the lights flashing, there's the checkered flag, and there's an impressive win for Paul Parr. The car is beautifully prepared. It looks fantastic. It was a fantastic start, and he drove superbly to take the win, and he's going to get himself the Dunboyne Trophy. I'm not sure if they're aware of that, the SAIT drivers, but he's going to get the Dunboyne Trophy, another massive trophy with a load of history, which was won 4 times by Alan Johnson and presented back to the Leinster Trophy, the Leinster Motor Club. So huge history, loads of names on that one, and a lot of the Fiat racers would have had a lot of good saloon names on it and single-seater names if you go further back. So the order: Paul Parr, Dave Maguire, Stephen Wright, Paul O'Brien, Brian Berry, Barry English, Max Turley, Adrian McNally, Rob McGovern, And Eddie Peterson, then Cian Walsh is going to take the checker flag next to take the Irish touring car win. There he goes. You can hear him before you can see him. Great sound effects. All the pops and bangs. And he goes by to take the win again. Cian Walsh, great stuff from him. I think it's going to be Stuart Curran just ahead of Ian Stryker in the battle of the Integras. That's what it is. Ian Stryker in a touring car. Should be slower touring class car, but absolutely flies in that machine. Another beautifully prepared car. And then it's the oil burner next up. David McMahon in the Seat, blast through. And Oisin Clune right with him. Then Gary Corcoran, the ailing Gary Corcoran, obviously a problem. Then Owen Drought, just out of our shot in the golf. He takes the checkered flag now. He's been doing lap on, lap off, fast one, slow one. Karate Kid job. Then Rob Doherty, Ryan Stryker. I think that's it. So let's go back and have a look at that Rod McGovern and Paul O'Brien incident there, because the legends have a full rolling lap to do before our last race of the day. Here it is. We might go back a bit further than that if we can watch it a second time, but certainly that's the job was done there. There we go. This is it. Brilliant. Great stuff. Thank you very much, guys. So Rod McGovern's leading, but Paul O'Brien gets the run. Look at this. He goes down the outside, fourth, fifth gear. Really quick, these cars. 340 brake horsepower. Look at this. Clearly ahead on the outside, but Rod's been around the block a few times. There's nothing you could do. Rod's going to come back at him on the brakes all day long here, even though he's a full length ahead. But Rod smokes it up a little bit. Goes in maybe a little bit too late. He has to. Look at Paul O'Brien. He can't turn in there at all. He's just got to go with McGovern. They both get driven wide. McGovern's locked the wheel. He's up over the inside curb. O'Brien thinking of a switcheroo, but it's already been done by Stephen Wright. Thank you very much, chaps. Gets a little bit of a rub, but nothing too out of order there. They come up out of 7B then, and watch this. McGovern out onto the exit curb. It's not really anyone's fault, is it? He just gets cut across the front of Paul O'Brien. Paul O'Brien was way over to the right-hand side when that happened, so that's one of those things. They're both going to feel they were wrong, and Rod will feel he was bundled off, and Paul will say that Rod spun across in front of him, but certainly it's a very odd territorial dispute on the way out of 7A and B. So Paul O'Brien getting himself a fourth place there, but Paul Parr, man of the moment, very impressive stuff. I don't think he knows, but he has won himself a very, very impressive bit of silverware from the Leinster Motor Club. The last one of the weekend, so fantastic stuff from him. He's going to lift the Dunboyne Cup over his head on the podium when they come back in. Great stuff from Paul Parr. Last race of the day, what time is it? Oh, 17:59. It's going to have to be a quick one. The legends, we're waiting for the green flag. There's the green flag. Safety car leads them round, flat out, no doubt. It's going to have to be a short race. Let's have a look at their updated championship. They'll have about 1 million points each. There we are. We always have that moody shot out over the mountains before we show the championship points. Lee Malone still at the head of it now with 2,880 points. Then Evan Curran next up, 2,755 points, so it's close enough. Scott Jackson in third, 2,705 still in the mix. Then Willie Lawrence, 2,445. Michael Barrable, 2,220. He's usually number 22, so there you go, 2,220. Then Sylvie Bartlett, the ex-Formula V and Fiesta ST racer, 2,150. He's in sixth place. Richard Spence with 1,885. Derek Hogan, 1,865. Anthony Malone, 1,030. And then Kevin O'Donoghue with 870 points. So there you go, legends with the last race of the weekend. What a weekend it's been. We might as well start thanking people now because they've done so much work, the marshals and the rescue crews. I think anyone who's in the middle floor below me will be stressed a little bit. It was, everything's been thrown at them today. Power cuts, cameras burning out, delays, crashes, cars being towed in, oil spillages, everything that you get. So literally, and onto the See It Live team as well. They're whistling in my ear that I have to say something about them as well. They were mediocre all day. No, they weren't. They were fantastic all day, as they always are. And I'm sorry about the little bit of time it took to get the coverage back, but that wasn't their point. Literally at lunchtime, everything went down. No power, no Wi-Fi, no lunch either. They got it, and it took a while to reboot it back up, and a camera may or may not, if Martin Cavan is watching, a camera may or may not have got fried in the process. So we'll see how that one works out on Monday morning. But the coverage has been good. We've been great with our replays. It's great to get that stuff back because you just can't on live TV catch every moment that's out there, but it's been great. The Leinster Motor Club were brilliant. They really worked hard all weekend with Brian bringing up trophies and articles on the trophies for me and history on the trophies, and it's good to impart the fact to the people that win the trophies as much as the classes that race for them. how much history there is attached to some of these trophies, like first presented in the 1930s, and some incredibly famous names on them. And like the one Paul Parr is just about to get when he comes back in, the Dunboyne Trophy for winning that Say It Supercup race. In fact, the legends now race for the last one of the weekend, the Jack Toohey Trophy. And there's great, he was the Leinster Trophy winner in 1935 and 1936. It's the newest addition to the perpetual trophies. It's the small but mighty Jack Toohey Trophy, won by Mr. Toohey himself as his replica in 1936 for winning the Leinster Trophy. Solid silver cup was a major part of Leinster Trophy history and was re-gifted back to the Leinster Club by Mr. Toohey before his passing. So great history again for this one. Derek Hogan with a clear run on the inside, the Pink Panther. Look at Michael Barrable trying to sniff to the outside. 8.66 with a good run. Richard Spence too, but I think Hogan's got it done, has he? No, I think it's Spence maybe on the outside, but Derek Hogan should be late enough on the brakes. He is. The Pink Panther leads down into turn one. Michael Barrable in second place. Spence on the outside as they come out of Castrol Corner now for the first time. A flat out through Campion Corner. It takes a bit of driving, a little bit of opposite lock in these ledges. They don't have ultimate grip. They don't run slick racing tyres. 1200cc motorbike engines, and make no mistake, they move around quite a lot under you, so you need to be able to steer to go quickly in one of these cars. Out of our view for a moment. Distinctive soundtrack from these cars. They sound absolutely fantastic. Little screamers, proper motorbike sounds as they come back towards us. Derek Hogan holding on nicely. Derek's got plenty of experience in motor racing. Started racing Fiat probably 10, 15 years ago, maybe more. He's raced Globals, he's raced these cars for a long time. Absolutely loves the Legends. This Pink Panther, an iconic car that he drives, and brings all the family with him. They have great fun, and he's a massive motor racing fan as well. He sits around the outside looking to carry the speed around the outside, but Barrable finding out that a narrower line works for him. So as soon as Derek Hogan cops that when he goes to the inside, but I think somebody's gone down the outside on Barrable's tail. They're very late in the brakes. That is Evan Curran, isn't it? It is, yeah. He was well back. Oh, around goes Derek Hogan. Curse of the commentator. Quick spin on the brakes, and he's collected a few cars with him there. So there's 3 or 4 cars parked up at 7A. They'll be groaning down in race control and hoping there's not going to be a stoppage or a red flag, because we just haven't got time for one now at this stage. So final race of the weekend, as we said. All coming back towards us. We're missing a few cars. Jonathan Files and Jamie Moylan tangled. Oh, we have got a car stopped down there. The back axle out of true. You can see it there. That's the guy is going no further. Number 99, Scott Jackson. I'd say there's going to have to be a safety car, is there? And Fergus Brennan was just rolling up all the flags down below me in the starting gantry, but I'm not sure. Maybe they can push it out of the way or send a snatch unit down there. Let's see what they do, but they're clocking up a lap. It's Barrable, Curran, Malone, Spence, Gordon Brown, Dennis Lambert. Anthony Malone goes through. They're slowing down. Red flags are out. Nothing we could do. The red flags are out. The race is going to be stopped. That's such a David. I've never seen this. It's so hard on everybody. The starters, the marshals, the officials, everybody downstairs. It's just as they've been trying to beat the clock all day long, but certainly it looks like another red flag and another race stoppage now. Okay, so no result declared there. Race over, and we cannot restart. Time constraints, unfortunately. The live stream will be ending and everything else. So that will be the end of the racing at the Leinster Trophy Race meeting, the ICCR. It's not the last race meeting of the year. We've got another one in October, and we've got the 6-hour Fiesta race. Keep an eye on the Fiesta pages and the ICCR pages. Some exciting news about that 6-hour Fiesta race in November. It's moving to a Saturday, and it's going to be an offside after party. It works well for the drifting and people like that. They've always wanted it, anyone who did it. If you want to go racing, get 2 mates. You can do teams of 3 or 4 and get a Zetec Fiesta, and you can do the 6-hour race. It starts here at midday, and it goes dark at 4 o'clock, and it finishes in pitch darkness at 6 o'clock, and that'll be in November. We have got another ICCR race before that in October, ICCR.ie. If you want to go racing, you can find out, just click classes. You can find out about all the classes. If you want to become a Mondello Park Marshal, just contact Mondello Park, or they've got a Facebook page and social media outlets. You can get them all there. To everybody that worked so hard all weekend, it's been a really tough 2 days. Well done to everybody involved, to drivers, to teams, to mechanics, to people who repaired cars, pulled them back in. Of course, to the marshals, the officials, the rescue crew, the doctors, everybody else that was involved. We really did have everything thrown at us, but I think the team did pretty well, and well done to all our winners this weekend, and thanks to the Leinster Motor Club for their help as the legends come back round to come back into the paddock. Unfortunately, we won't be getting a restart. That's about it. Thanks to our See It Live crew. They've been absolutely fantastic all weekend, and like everybody else, they've had everything thrown at them. So there was rain on lenses this morning, everybody getting soaked, and then they managed to sort everything out. We got some good coverage all afternoon. You can watch that back on YouTube, on the Irish Championship Circuit Racing channel, or indeed on the social media, various social media outlets. So I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. If you want to come driving at Mondello Park, mondellopark.ie. You can come down here and drive those BMW M2 competitions that you saw on track all day, or Porsche Cayman S's, or Ferrari 430s, single-seater Formula Shanes, if you want to have a go at them. If you want to book any of them, mondellopark.ie. If you want to actually go racing, ICCR.ie. We'll give you all the information you need. And if you need anything else, just get in touch with Mondello Park. So thank you all very much. It's been a wonderful weekend at Mondello Park, despite all the obstacles that were thrown at us. There was one more podium being done down there, and a big crowd for it, as there has been all weekend. It's great to see it. So that is pretty much it from Mondello Park. Thank you very much to everybody involved, to Infinite Energy for sponsoring the ICCR, and of course to the Beacon Hospital for helping us to stream it.
Hello, GSE.
Wow. Wow. Der Opel Astra Electric. The Blitz is more than just a logo to us. It represents who we are. It stands for the energy that flows into every single Opel, and for our restless ambition to always go further, even if it means to break old patterns. By 2028, we will be fully electric. This is our focus, our energy, and we manifest it with a new, even more energetic Blitz. Like never before, it stands for who we are and where we go. Because it's much more than just a logo. It's our compass to head forward.
extra electric. Hello, GSE.
Welcome to Mondello Park, more than just a racetrack.
We have conferencing facilities for up to 200 people.
We can provide a wide range of fresh, locally produced food, from soup and sandwiches all the way up to a full 5-course meal.
Test your team to work together in a series of racing challenges against the clock in our state-of-the-art driving simulators.
Or if you want to try the real thing, jump behind the wheel of one of our many supercars.
Test your team with our wide variety of non-driving team building challenges. Or beat the clock in our exhilarating auto test challenge. Mondello Park, so much more than just a racetrack.